in the court now where time stood still. Generations pass on the hill, prosecutors come and go, defense attorneys putting on a show. Old district attorney thought she was tight, came in to visit her tonight. They said justice was blinded by her sins. As the trial spun, no one wins. Endless trial like a river flows. Truth and lies, nobody knows. Corruption's split tight as a vice. In this endless trial, we pay the price.
Hey-o! Good morning. They already started. So imagine the big introduction and let's go right into it. Oh.
We've got about 4 or 5 things to take up before the jury comes in. One of them is the instruction that we're going to give to the jury regarding the fact that we are proceeding right now with 2 defendants instead of 6. I have a proposed instruction from the state. I didn't see any proposed instructions from the defense. Were there any?
We sent that last night.
To Ms. Percefield?
Yeah, 10:01, I believe. Let me make sure right now it's not stuck in my outbox or something.
Okay.
Verify. You saw it, man? Yeah, I saw it. You all saw it.
Okay, well, I don't have it, which doesn't mean Ms. Percefield doesn't have it, but she typically sends me what she gets. So and she'll be back with us in just a second. I have worked on a version based on what Mr. Abadi sent, but I'll obviously look at yours as well. Okay, so that's one thing. Then we have our witness list for the truncated week. There's a motion to limit autopsy photos. I guess this is from the drinks shooting. And then there's a motion to prohibit recall of Detective Thorp, which I actually haven't even had a chance to read yet. But if either of those is not opposed, then we can handle those in short order. And then with regard to, when we actually left the jury last over a week ago, counsel for Mr. Nichols had moved for a mistrial, and I had denied a mistrial with prejudice, but inquired as to whether she was interested in a mistrial without prejudice. And of course, that issue is now moot. And
as
I
suspected,
don't know
with both,
what anybody who's still here.
As suspected, with both quays gone, so is that particular motion for mistrial. That is, in my opinion, the only motion for mistrial that is moot and gone. The 2 defendants and their attorneys, they still, via the Harvey rule, are in on all of the rest. Let's go up to 1.25 speed so we catch up a bit.
First position currently is with regard to whether they feel any entitlement to a mistrial without prejudice, but I will hear from counsel for Mr. Kendricks and Mr. Stillwell as to that issue.
Mr. Kendrick is not interested in a mistrial without prejudice, Your Honor. So if that's not going to be granted,
all right.
One with prejudice is not going to be granted. We're not interested in without prejudice.
All right. Well, have y'all moved for one with prejudice with regard to
well,
what our last issue was?
I believe under the Harvey rule that all of us had joined that unless we specifically opted out.
All right. Okay, well, that had been denied, so if there's nothing else with regard to that, y'all do not want one without prejudice. All right. How about you, Mr. Short, on behalf of Mr. Stillwell?
Good morning, Your Honor. We are in the same position. We are not moving for a mistrial without prejudice.
All right. Well, that takes care of that issue. How about let's look at our list of witnesses for the week. There are, thank you, she brought it down to me, 3 witnesses who it is proposed not be shown on camera. And I believe the reason provided for that was each of those witnesses works in an undercover capacity. Is that right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Any objection on that?
Mr. Kendrick only objects to investigator, I believe it's Starks, just because I'm not sure why they should not be shown when they're featured on the Facebook page of the APD throwing a football and their image is shown. So I think if there was a concern about not showing that particular witness, they wouldn't be publicizing his face on Facebook.
Well, it may be that their face had not been associated with their name, which is no longer the case.
Well, no. It features his name.
Ah,
I wouldn't have said it otherwise, Your Honor.
okay. Appreciate that. Is that the case?
Your Honor, I wasn't aware of that until this moment. I know that he also works in the same unit as investigator Flora.
Is that on?
It's not. As to that investigator, Your Honor, we were unaware of that until this moment, so we're going to look.
All right, well, y'all check on that. That seems like a pretty valid objection, and no objection with regard to the other 2. So we can circle back on Starks, who wouldn't be called until later in the week anyway. All right, that takes care of that. Ms. Percival, Mr. Weinstein said that they had also forwarded at around 10 p.m. last night, a proposed jury instruction. Can you see whether you got that? And if so, forward it.
If you don't see it, I can resend it to you.
I only see.
If you don't mind just resending it, it might be the easiest way to
I'll
do it.
resend it.
Sorry, I don't see it.
No worries.
All right, in the meantime, how about the autopsy photos? Have y'all on the drinks killing? Have y'all discussed what is or is not coming in on that amongst yourselves?
We haven't, Your Honor, although I'm not going to say at this point that I believe we need judicial involvement. I don't want to be involved.
All right,
I just saw that this.
Okay, why don't y'all get together and see if y'all can come to agreement about what would come in, and if there's disagreement after y'all talk, then y'all bring that back up to me. Okay, the recalling of Detective Thorp. You want to just give me a summary?
Yes, Your Honor. As Your Honor knows and has been doing in this case, you have discretion and control over the way evidence is presented and witnesses that are called. One thing that, from my observations, has been important with moving this case along is when a witness testifies, and then we cross-examine that witness, you have been limiting the state on the redirect to the scope of the cross, which I think is important. Detective Thorp testified previously as lead investigator for the Donovan Thomas case back in September, I believe, and he was on the stand for several days. The state, through discovery, provided me with a copy of a statement. There's been several statements made. This was around the time that Mr. Stillwell was in the car with Tara Jones when she was shot, and then he was also served with arrest warrants at that time for Donovan Thomas. There is an interrogation that took place. Detective Thorp is the individual who was in charge of questioning Mr. Stillwell. Detective Gaither walked in towards the middle of the interrogation. But this interrogation was never brought up by the state in their direct of Detective Thorp back in September. I certainly did not bring it up. No defense counsel brought it up. So by recalling Thorp and getting into this interrogation, that's something that they wouldn't have been allowed if, based on your Honor's previous rulings. Of course, every ruling is different, but based on your Honor's previous rulings, that would have been outside the scope of cross, or outside the scope of cross for them to get into that on redirect. And it just seems to me simply recalling him is just an end around of that rule that we've been abiding by.
All right, let me hear from the state on this matter.
So, Your Honor, with Detective Thorp, he's going to be covering three, I'll call it categories of testimony. For one, he is going to be discussing Defendant Kendrick's statement to law enforcement that was pertaining to the Donovan Thomas murder. Also, Detective Thorp was the lead detective, homicide detective, on the March 11th, 2022 murder of Christian McMiller and Darius Ford, which, as the state has articulated to this court before, is intrinsic to the Chamel drinks because it leads up to that murder.
Yeah, and I don't think the objection is as to that. So what's the third?
So, Your Honor, third is that the questioning, because Detective Thorp is going to be testifying about those first two, the state's questioning of Detective Thorp in relation to Defendant Stillwell's statement, I would proffer would be 15 to 20 minutes. The state intends to ask Detective Thorp questions, not play the statement, which alleviates need for fights over redactions or playing to the jury. So in the state's legally, the state is calling a witness to testify about relevant admissible evidence, specifically two statements of party opponent. And so the state feels that there's not a valid legal objection to keep out relevant admissible evidence. And the state also feels that Detective Thorp is going to efficiently cover three topics, which could be different witnesses.
Okay, but with regard, I don't think the issue is as to the other two. It's as to talking to him about Stillwell's statement from November of 2015, a topic we seemingly already covered. Why should y'all be able to get into that again? Is there something about that statement that is now, I mean, I guess you're saying it's relevant to the Drinks murder? Is that what your position is?
No, Your Honor. My
Okay.
position is that with Detective Thorp on the stand, he's going to be discussing both current defendants in this case, their testimony and statements that he gave with them. He was going to already be discussing Defendant Kendrick's
Yeah, I
statement.
understand the
Right.
other stuff.
So the state's position is that him discussing a statement of party opponent.
What happened here is that prosecution did a whoopsie. They forgot to ask him a bunch of questions, and because they didn't do it on direct examination, and since they were limited on the scope of cross-examination, they couldn't go into it. So now they are trying to recall him to talk about the things they forgot about. And shouldn't be allowed, but this is Georgia RICO. Rules are weird when it comes to Georgia RICO.
Of Defendant Stillwell is legally relevant admissible evidence.
Okay, but
And we have not covered that statement with the jury.
Well, why didn't you?
in any way?
Why didn't you do that when you had him on the stand the previous time? You forgot about it, and now you want to unforget about it.
No, Your Honor.
They called Detective Thorp to talk about this homicide.
This homicide being,
Donovan Thomas, 2015, January 10, 2015. And they never brought up my client's statement. They never, we certainly never brought up my client's statement. And we proceeded with trial since then with the understanding that they called the lead investigator in the case, and that wasn't what they, I don't really want to go get lost in the weeds. But I'll just leave it at that. They
Okay.
chose not to call to ask about that. Now they're asking months later to
okay.
relitigate.
All right, so if you had Detective Thorpe on the stand talking to him about the Thomas murder already, which you did, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Then it seems that that would have been the time to talk to him about Mr. Stillwell's statement from around that time. And I mean, I appreciate, we can do it efficiently, but you already had him on once. So why weren't you why is now the time to be covering that instead of back when you already called him?
Understood, Your Honor. Part of what the timing of this is because of Detective Dennis initially discussed Defendant Kendrick's statement. Because that testimony on that day was excluded, Detective Thorpe is discussing that statement of Defendant Kendrick's. And because he's going to be discussing or testifying about that statement, the statement was in October with Defendant Kendrick. The statement with Defendant Stillwell is in November. And so the state feels that because he's going to be discussing that statement with Kendrick in October, it's relevant to have him briefly address the statement he also gave with Defendant Stillwell after that statement.
Well, that's a red herring, Your Honor, because the Dennis has nothing to do with the statement of Stillwell. He wasn't present. He couldn't have testified to that. So Yes, they may be calling Thorp for different things, and that's not my issue.
Right.
But they just can't lump in something that they should have asked about months ago.
So, Your Honor, the brass tacks of this issue is the state, of course, feels that this statement is favorable for the state's theory. Defense wants to keep it out, and the state's position is that
This, what's his face again? I don't care. You forgot about it. Congratulations. Too sad, too bad, too late. If it was really that important to your case, you should have asked him. You didn't. It should be gone.
a targeted question of Detective Thorp, who was already, we're not adding a witness. The reason I brought up the other matters is because I think it's relevant in terms of the efficiency of the trial if we have one witness covering 3 separate topics. And
How
a 15
how is it efficiency of the trial if you want to bring back stuff if you want to bring up stuff you should have brought months ago? No, that is not efficiency of this trial. It's you screwing up. And that should not be held against the defendant that you want to do a redo within this trial. We are 16 minutes in, and the state, I said this, they can't help themselves. They are mentally unable to conduct a fair trial. Mentally unable.
to 20-minute questioning targeted of Detective Thorp, who's already going to be testifying, is just relevant, admissible evidence that the state feels.
It was relevant. It was admissible if you had brought it up back then. Now it's gone. The trial has moved on.
Should not be legally excluded under a statutory or legal basis to exclude relevant admissible statement of a party opponent.
I mean, essentially, if you've been covering this trial, like, I don't know, incident by incident, I guess, which is sort of how y'all have been doing it, then you've already covered the Donovan Thomas murder with this witness. So it is like you're being able to do an in run around, well, gosh, we forgot to cover that on direct, and now we want to do it again. We want to redo. Essentially, we want to be able to recall him. And so why didn't you do it the first time?
Your Honor, I don't know exactly why the state, there's not some secret or tactician trying to be gained by putting this statement in now.
I agree with that. It's incompetence. Pure incompetence.
Quite frank with the court, it's just the state, and sometimes this happens in trials where a witness can be recalled to talk about testimony that has not been discussed.
Yeah, but that is still in a trial about that exact topic. If this was the Donovan Thomas murder trial, then you might have had an argument. But this is not the Donovan Thomas murder trial. It is the YSL RICO trial, where you have covered item for item for item. Donovan Thomas was done months ago. The part with Donovan Thomas was done months ago. You even had his parents there for victim impact statement. It's done.
All right. I mean, but essentially that's what you're doing, right? Is saying, okay, we haven't gotten to some of these things, but we'd also, while he's up here, like to be able to essentially recall him as to this other thing that we didn't cover before.
Well, Your Honor, the primary purpose of Detective Thorp, and the reason I keep bringing up Kendrick's statement is because that's kind of, in the state's position, critical to why we're discussing this. Because if he's going to be discussing one of the defendants in trial statement at this present time, because that prior testimony is not in evidence, the state feels that it's important to talk about the other defendant remaining on trial statement that was close in time because we're going to be, that's the main reason for now, Your Honor.
We'll get to you in a minute. Mr. Shart, how would you be prejudiced by this? I mean, you know about the statement. You are certainly capable of cross-examining.
I hope I am. But I've known about the statement. But the state made decisions not to, and I think it was strategic. Their strategy quite well.
That might be giving them a little too much credit.
Well, it's ironic
Ooh, shade. The shade from Judge Whittaker. Judge Whittaker. Wow. Wow. The shade. That is giving them too much credit as applying. Wow. Oh, that shade. Folks, we might see a different kind of trial now when there's only 2 defendants. Oh, wow. Ooh, the shade. Somebody clip that. Somebody clip that, please.
Because Mr. Stillwell said things in his statement that were very helpful to Mr. Williams. And they chose not to put that into evidence. Now Mr. Williams is pled. Now all of a sudden they want to recall this gentleman to bring in that statement. And I've been proceeding with this trial over the last 3 months, under, I think, the fair belief, based on the way things have been going, that wouldn't be admitted into evidence. Now, I'm not trying to throw anyone under the bus, but I find out about this. I see Detective Thorp's name all of a sudden show up on a witness list when it wasn't on the upcoming witness list. And then it's, well, why are we recalling Detective Thorp? And it's, well, to talk about Kendrick's statement, to talk about the Mac Miller and Darius Ford murder, which I get. But then it's like, oh, and we might ask him some questions about the statement your client gave that we didn't ask about back in September. And I don't think that's appropriate. And I think that I don't think it's appropriate to be able to recall witnesses repeatedly to highlight, when you want to highlight them, what their testimony is. If this was going to be brought out, then it should have been brought out in September.
I guess if I deny it at this point in time, the defense can put on whatever case they're going to put on, if they're going to put on a case. But I think that you had indicated before you had at least some defense case. Is that right? I mean, you had indicated that before. Anyway, if you do, then they get a chance to have a rebuttal case anyway, so they can put it up then. I mean, I guess we could do it that way.
Right. Assuming it was a logical rebuttal to what we presented.
All right. Do you pretty much know what it is they want to be getting about whatever he may have said in November of 2015?
I mean, there's a 120-page transcript. It's an hour and a half, I'll say.
Your Honor,
You want to proffer what it is?
it's not a secret in terms
Go
of
ahead.
the whereabouts of defendant Stillwell is the key issue. He states unequivocally he was in Miami.
Okay.
And so
If it was that important, why didn't you bring it up? It can't have been that important since you didn't bring it up. But now all of a sudden it is important. And apparently it has to do with Mr. Williams. It might have been good for Mr. Williams to have that in. But now when Mr. Williams is not here, now you can use it against Mr. Stillwell because Mr. Williams is no longer here. You can't have it both ways. It's still the same trial.
on the day of the murder. And so that is the main point of there's no hiding the ball with it. That's the main, it's his whereabouts on the day of the murder.
All right. Any further
Well,
argument?
it's not that simple because there was a
Did
statement.
he go to Miami with the crowd that went to
I
Miami
think the evidence would show that he went the next day. And
Which is the day, I mean, it's easy enough to explain as well.
right. And so the video shows that Mr. Stillwell saying that he was in Miami. And then there's Detective Thorp kind of unwinds that and says how that would be impossible. And then eventually Mr. Stillwell agrees. So, it's like when you boil it down to a one sentence, he said he was in Miami. That really doesn't give the whole story. Now we're opening up to the whole video once again and exactly what was said in the context, because it wasn't him just saying, oh, I was in Miami, period. It becomes clear that he thought he was in Miami that day. And then when they talk about, he puts himself with Kenneth Copeland in Miami.
Mhm.
And then they say, well, Kenneth Copeland was in my office after the homicide. So you couldn't have been in Miami. And then eventually, I think it's fair to say that Mr. Stillwell says, okay, I understand what you're saying. That's not a direct quote, but so that, yeah, I don't know why he's being recalled.
Okay, and why wasn't that presented to begin with, when you had him up here before talking about either the Thomas murder or when Mr. Stillwell came and gave a statement as a victim?
Your Honor, I don't know exactly why that was not presented earlier.
Okay.
Yeah, because it was it Miss Love? Is she there? I have to see. Well, you have Miss Love and Miss Hilton there. Why don't you ask them? It's a fair chance that either of them held that direct examination. Why don't you ask them? Why do you reference to the court that you don't know when you have the two lead prosecutors beside you? This is so stupid. Miss Love back in hiding.
All right, I'll think about that. He's not going to be our first witness. Yes, sir, Mr. Weinstein.
Good morning, Your Honor. You mentioned end runs earlier today. If you recall, maybe you don't know, Detective Dennis was the one that was supposed to be speaking about Mr. Kendrick's interview, and you rightfully sanctioned him. I would love for you to recall your righteous degree of anger at this point, but I won't bring that up.
Oh, I remember.
So I'd like you to keep that in your mind while I'm talking. But this is an attempt by the state to do an end run around that. Now, I know later you said that if they had witnesses on the list already and they could go and then talk about things. So we had someone get up and start talking about, lyrics that wasn't initially supposed to talk about more than Nibin matches. But I don't believe that Thorp was supposed to come up again. And this is just an attempt to get this testimony in about Mr. Kendrick's statement that was rightfully pretty much barred by you stopping Dennis. So I don't think they should be allowed to do this end run.
Okay, I barred Dennis. I didn't, but at the same time, y'all asked, well, can topics be covered? If they were going to be covered by him, could they be covered by other witnesses? And I said, as long as there was somebody on the witness list already, that they couldn't add people, but that if they already had somebody on the witness list who could cover those things, that they would be permitted to cover those things. So as long as we had Detective Thorp somewhere on our witness list again, then I would deny that. So we had that long
I'm not. Was
order
he on
of
y'all's witness list again?
witnesses. Was he on there anywhere?
I don't believe he was on there again, but before I make that representation, I'd like the state to verify that.
Well, we can check, Your Honor. I'm pretty sure he was, but if he wasn't, he was on the main witness list.
Yeah.
The rules of evidence only require that the witness be included in the witness list.
Oh, I know. I don't know if you were with us yet when we had the debacle about Detective Dennis, but that was a sanction. That wasn't an evidentiary ruling.
So Thorp was not. I don't believe Thorp was on the list to come back again. So this is an attempt to basically gut your sanction by bringing Thorp back.
All right. If he was not on the witness list to be recalled, then I'm not going to permit it.
Your Honor, if I can recall our meeting at the bench, you didn't I don't believe you specified the
Yeah, I
short
did.
to the list. I think you said if he's a witness who's already been on the witness list, we cannot add anyone. But if he was a witness.
Okay,
on
we'll
the-
go back and check,
Yes, thank you, Your Honor.
because that is not my recollection. My recollection is if they were going to be testifying anyway, but they could not be added.
And my recall is the same as Your Honor's. Otherwise, your sanction would be
Yeah.
utterly meaningless.
But that was,
We're not going to argue about it right now. We're just going to go back and check and see. Somehow, not sure how, since the court reporter who took that down isn't with us right now. But we'll see what we can do. And it was at a bench conference, so there's not going to be any watching the live stream of that and getting the answer. Okay, let's turn to this jury instruction. Does everybody have the proposal from the other side?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, I guess we can skip ahead a bit. Now they are talking, the defense have sent over their proposed jury instruction. And I would assume it is a bit fire. The prosecution just want, they are no longer here, ignore it, and then move on.
language I'm basically. Essentially, y'all both got good language. I'm basically kind of just putting it together, and then I'll give y'all what I'm proposing. And if y'all wanted to, make sure that I can either read them in, or y'all can file those as your proposals if you want to, for the instructions.
And Your Honor, I was going to ask,
Yeah.
are you planning on inquiring of the jurors if any of them cannot follow this instruction or?
I mean, no.
Okay.
That's not really what we typically do. It was just, I did it because, I mean, if you're asking somebody to disregard 3 days of testimony, that's a little unusual and more than they normally have to do. So that was why I did that in that instance.
Understood.
I just normally expect them to be able to follow my instructions.
When you're through with this, Your Honor, I just want to clarify something with the court.
All right, so I can send this to you, or I can read it, or both. What I'm proposing is, members of the jury, you will notice that certain of the defendants are no longer before you for reasons that do not concern you. The prosecution of those co-defendants is no longer a part of this trial. You must not speculate, make assumptions, or draw any conclusions about the possible reasons for their absence, and their absence from this trial must not in any way affect your judgment or influence your verdict as to the defendants in this case, or I can say remaining in this case. You must base your deliberations and your verdict solely on the evidence presented, and an individual determination of guilt or innocence must be made as to each defendant. Thoughts?
Thank you, Your Honor. That's fine with Mr. Kendrick.
Okay.
Yeah, that's new.
Good for Mr. Stillwell, good for the state. All right.
And Your Honor, I just want to, since we're down to two defendants, I just want to make sure that we're still operating under the Harvey rule.
Well, I mean, do y'all want to, unless you say differently, I'll assume a motion made by one of you is adopted by the other.
And an objection as well, Your Honor.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right, Roger Kint became a member. First new member of today, Roger Kint. Thank you so much. You now have access to all my members-only content and members-only perks and my Discord. I have to put up a refreshed link to my Discord in the community section of my channel. New members. 1. Yay! There, and it is on the banner. Thank you so much. Second? Was there another? Oh, sorry, Brooklyn. I missed that. Brooklyn became a member earlier. I'm so sorry, Brooklyn. Brooklyn, first new member of the day. Woo! And then Iron Rabbit gifted 5 memberships. Thank you so much. Here we go. Here we go. Brings the total to 7. 7 new members already. That's a nice start. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, everybody.
Okay, and let's see where this witness list is. So Mr. Lee's still gonna we're gonna finish up with him, and he has, I would assume at this point, been instructed not to mention any incarcerations of any of the defendants.
He has instructed, I'm going to re-instruct again now.
All right. Okay, and did
Yeah, that's a
either
good idea.
of the remaining defendants want any sort of an instruction?
All right, here we go. Nana Misty, thank you so much for 5 gifted memberships. And Vince Clotho, a membership. Thank you so much. Now, I will go through whatever happens with gifted and super chat in more natural pauses in this, so we can catch up somewhat. But thank you all so much. thank you all so much. That 13 new members. That is, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I remember, oh yeah, on Friday panel show, there was a question that I didn't get to. That what do Doug Weinstein and Max Short do to rewind, to blow off steam and recharge? And the answer from Doug Weinstein was Peloton and board games and pinball. From Max Short, it is wrestling with my son, mostly. So those are the questions that I didn't get to on Friday while they were still on. Okay. Thank you so much.
As you know, we had paused because he had mentioned Quay. Well, he had understandably read part of a post that said free Quay. Anybody want any kind of instruction about that? Or at this point, okay. All right, anything else before we get the jury in?
May I just approach the evidence room?
Sure.
I just want
Laura.
Yeah, maybe they should have moved to strike his testimony. But yeah. Maybe it didn't matter that much in the big picture. Now, when it comes to Doug Weinstein, what is Peloton? I have no idea what that is.
Your Honor, could we get
Did he mean Pilates?
Sure.
Thank you.
And in that 5 minutes, maybe we can change that clock because that's going to confuse me all day long because we changed to standard time a couple of days ago and that's still on daylight savings. So maybe during the break, we could do that. All right. Yes, let's recess for a few
We're
minutes.
putting a lot of faith in our IT
Stationary
department, Your
bar.
Honor.
Thank you. Oh, you know what this is? For the first time after the plea deal week, sidebar counter 321. All right, now we can skip ahead a bit, maybe. Oh. And that would be commercial for yeah, I don't do free commercials. Yes, Dawson. Good morning, Nick Martin chat. State going to mess up again? Yeah. I mean, they kind of already did by trying to get in Detective Thorp to testify about something they already litigated 3 months ago. And Kristen Vasquez, Empress Fox, Nick and Cat, not Williams are streams I enjoy best in the daytime. So you made it to the right spot. Okay. Oh, so yeah. Oh, it's a recess, not a side. I don't care. I saw somebody walk up, so I'm interpreting it as a recess bar. A recess bar? That's something completely different. Who is the first witness? Is it Mr. Lee? Yes. Everything went downhill with Mr. Lee on the stand, and they will have Black Pippi Longstocking back on the stand, I believe. As soon as the jury shows up and they get the jury instruction, and don't let him read anything. Yeah. For me, in that situation, what could have been a motion for mistrial with prejudice is that Miss Hilton gave Mr. Lee knowingly an unredacted piece of evidence to read from for some odd reason. Her surprise that he actually read from it goes to either she's incompetent or she's a really, really good liar. NGB, Nene, Black People, Longstocking. Yeah, you didn't see him? Hold on. Let me bring up. I'll try to bring up. Let's see if I can find it. Live. Dun, dun, dun. Was it? Not that one. Was it that one? There. See? Oh, sorry. There. See? Black Pippi Longstocking. I can't be the only one seeing it. I can't be the only one seeing it. Do I have side-by-side pictures? No. Let's see here. Back to this. Let's see here. Oh, everybody's standing up. Jury is back. Trial commences. So let's see how they will screw up. Yeah, the old translations of Pippi Longstocking might have words that are not acceptable anymore. Now, the family of the author have authorized the changes back in the 1980s.
Thank you very much. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. So I need to give you all an instruction, members of the jury. You will notice that certain of the co-defendants are no longer before you for reasons that do not concern you. The prosecution of those co-defendants is no longer a part of this trial. You must not speculate, make assumptions, or draw any conclusions about the possible reasons for their absence, and their absence from this trial must not in any way affect your judgment or influence your verdict as to these defendants in this case. You must base your deliberations and your verdict solely on the evidence presented, and an individual determination of guilt or innocence must be made as to each defendant. All right, somebody from the state, if you all want to get Mr. Lee back on the stand, we will finish up with his testimony. Thank you.
Did they go to change their top? Yeah, they might have. Yes, we are all on the same time slot again. I had a week where my time was already adjusted, which made it really, really difficult to live stream. But now I can again, as long as they don't start too early. Good morning, Residence Rounds. MCs, Madeira Finn, Sherry Balicki, Gwendolyn Monette, Dr. Sand, Little Miss, Angie Bay Nene.
All right, good morning, Mr. Lee. You can go ahead and have a
Hello,
seat,
everybody.
and I'll just remind you that you are still under oath. All right, go ahead, Ms. Hilton.
Oh, he combed down the Pippi Longstocking hair. Aw, I liked it when he had the antennas out.
Thank you, Your Honor. 38. Good morning, Mr. Lee. How are you? All right. I'm going to pick up where we left off. I'm going to show you what's already been admitted as State's Exhibit
They want
38
to reiterate that
NN.
one.
Oh,
Yeah,
Ms.
Danes
Can
are
you let
weird
her? Thank you.
people. They keep saying that we stole their country. No, we didn't. We conquered it. Oh, does he know what happened? Oh, he knows something was really screwed up. Mickey O'Shea from Minneapolis. Welcome.
Mr. Lee, looking at State's Exhibit 38 NN, if you can tell us, what are you wearing in 38 NN?
Are you giving fashion advice, Miss Hilton? I don't think you are the person to give fashion advice. Oh, that might not be it.
Shorts, jacket,
Okay.
mask.
And does the shorts and the jacket have words on it?
Yes.
What are the words?
Slap. Slap.
Do you
Make
have,
America slime again.
and what
Make America slat again. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Oh, this will be fun. I think we're going to have a good day today. For you who don't know, the prosecution's team allegedly are Democrats. And make America slime again? Yeah. I wouldn't know what he's referencing to, but I don't think it is a Democrat slogan.
do you know who's the designer of that clothing?
Who made it?
Yes.
Miles.
Miles. Is that Miles Farley?
Yeah.
And do you call him Slatto?
Huh?
Does he have a nickname?
Miles.
Do you call him Slatto as well?
Do I call him that?
Yes.
If you go by that.
Have you called him that before?
Yeah.
All right. And in that picture, who is the person standing behind you?
Which one?
The one with his arm over your shoulder.
Look like Yak.
You said to look like, is it Yak or?
Yeah, I think that's him.
All right. And the person that's next to you in the tan jumpsuit, do you know who that is?
I don't know his name.
Okay. All right. And then the person who we can't see the face, do you sitting here now remember or know who that is?
I don't remember who that is either.
All right. Now I'm going to show you what's been admitted as State's Exhibit 39 NN. Who is in that picture?
My two friends,
And who are they?
BB and Christian.
Okay. Do you know Christian's full name?
I forgot his last name.
Does the last name Eppinger sound familiar to you?
Yeah, I think that's it.
And BB, do you know his first name?
Rante.
And do you know whose Instagram posting this is?
I don't remember.
Okay. Do you see on the caption 2 emojis?
I can't hear you. I mean, can you say that again?
Sure. Do you see on the caption 2 emojis?
Yeah.
What are the 2 emojis?
I don't know what the first one is.
Okay.
The second one looked like a snake, or it might be like, I don't know.
Okay. All right. As an artist, have you released a song entitled Where You From?
Yes.
Okay. And are you the writer of that song?
I didn't write it, but yeah,
So you didn't write any of the lyrics? Or
No.
did you write some of the lyrics?
I just said it.
Okay. When did you release that song?
I don't remember.
All right. Did you work with anyone to compose that song?
Yes.
Okay. So did you give input to the writers about the song?
Not that I know of. I don't know. The label just dropped it.
Okay. But before the label dropped, did you have to go to the studio and record it?
Yeah.
Okay. And prior to going to the studio to record the song, did you have some words on a paper? How did you know the words you were going to say in the song?
I just said it.
Okay, so you never wrote it. You just spit it from your head.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you have a video from that song?
Did I shoot a video?
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
All right. And have you had the opportunity with me to watch that video?
Yeah, I think we did.
All right. I'm going to show you what's been marked or previously marked as State's Exhibit 45NN. Is that the disc with the video that you watched a few weeks ago?
Yes.
All right. And when you watched that video, did it appear to be a fair and accurate depiction of the video that you released for this song?
Yeah.
Right. Did it appear to have any additions or deletions?
No, not that I can recall.
All right. Your Honor, this time to say would like to tender and admit State's Exhibit 45NN into evidence.
Oh, a new music video.
You may.
Okay, now we have an official sidebar counter. Number 3, 2, 1. Okay, now we have the official first sidebar of this. So within the first hour, we have the state screwing up, the jury is back, and a sidebar. Yeah, I'm ready to do one of these things. So yeah. Oh, I can skip ahead a bit. And we are up to live. I'm not going to be live from Amsterdam for sidebar 420. Nah. For you who don't know, Sweden is extremely oppressive when it comes to drugs. For instance, if you are caught with 0.5 gram of cannabis, it is an obligatory 6 months in prison because that counts as intent to sell. Yeah, the rest of the world is going for decriminalization. We are moving in the opposite direction. I wish I was joking. Yeah, as Brandon says, yeah, that's why you're going to Amsterdam. Yeah, here's the thing. If I test positive when I get back to work, they can legally fire me. So, no, not going to happen. Yeah, I know it's barely a blunt, but not in Sweden. Kat is working today, I believe. So that is why she is not streaming today. I do believe she will stream later today. Marira Finn, how do you forward the stream 5-second jumps? The arrows. Left arrow is 5 second back. Right arrow is 5 second forward. I saw a good question. First of all, thank you to L. Allen. Thank you for your $5 super chat. Monday Mods Power. Yay! Everybody say thank you and hello to the mods. No, Denise says, Nick, who is responsible for letting the jury and witnesses that there is no trial that day? That is the judge who gives the command or order to whatever official who is on jury duty, so to speak. Rebecca, get it and go. Hey, Nick, I'm here till the end of this and beyond. Loved your interview with Max and Doug. Yeah, that was an excellent conversation. Excellent conversation. It was a part of the Friday panel show, but I also clipped it out, clipped it as a separate video. And that is because about 30% of my viewers only watch videos. And that is why you see me do cutouts of interesting parts of that court day, an interesting part of witness, or when the state screws up again. So that is why. So yeah, I think it is 28% in October chose to only watch the videos. So that is why I'm doing those. That is why I'm doing those. What time is it there? Well, at my place, it is 3:46 p.m. So it's 9:46 p.m. in in PA, after viewings are kept separate from deliberating me if you're leave, and the after joins in deliberations start all over again. Oh, wow. Well, yeah, that's logical, because every juror has to be in it from the beginning. Yeah, from the beginning of the deliberation. If I might not be. Let's see the settings. Or
Gone from us for over a week that we need a few minutes, but we need a few minutes. So I'm sorry, I'm going to excuse y'all to the jury room.
okay.
Yeah. And Mr. Lee, I'm going to ask you to step outside for a few minutes.
What just happened now? Plug in and plug out. All right, is this better? What happened? Which caused the jury to caused the judge to send out the jury again.
Okay, so our first video is 45NN, which is being offered to show that it's filmed in the Cleveland Avenue area, and then connections with, and I think you said assertions about gang activity. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so let's go ahead and watch and listen to this one. And then you said there are 2 more or 3 more?
Oh, God.
There's one more music video, Your Honor,
Okay.
which we believe is a party opponent admission. That's Mr. Stillwell's music video. And then there is not a video, Your Honor, but a vlog or a vlog video in
Okay.
which Mr. Lee and others are in.
Okay.
So this is absolutely, we are back, right back into it, that art is, but it's gang related. Yeah, but it's not a crime to be a member of a gang. It is a crime if it is a criminal enterprise. So that is the circular argument. The videos are let in because they are talking about gangs, and we allege in the RICO count that this is a criminal gang, which means that our interpretation of it should go to the jury. It's a circular argument. which only applies, I believe, to RICO trials. Back again with the BS. Oh, thank you, STS, for your super sticker. It is coffee. A pear with a cup of coffee. A pear with a cup of coffee. Oh, I need a cup of coffee. Roger Kint, also with a $5 sticker. It is a balloon and a heart and number 1. Yay. Thank you so much, Roger Kint. Thank you so much. Isabella Kruspe, do these two already have gang activity conviction? I believe Doug's client 9 years ago pled guilty to a gang count. I'm not, that would be Jack Gotti. I'm not so sure about Shannon Stillwell if he has one. But that's the weird part about RICO. Jack Gotti, 9 years ago, pled guilty, served his time, got out, and now they are charging him with the exact same thing to give him more time. Buddy says RICO is a good thing when done properly. Yeah, but here's the thing. If a law can be mishandled to this degree, it shouldn't really matter how good it is when it's done proper, because it's too easy to do bad with it. Okay. I can't show it. I'm not even sure I can show stills of it. So sadly, we just have to wait a bit. Okay, let me translate. You see a person on a bike. You see a bunch of people. You see more people, and they are flexing their muscles. He's back on the bicycle, showing off hands. Back on the bicycle. White t-shirt. White t-shirt. Camera towards the sky. A man and 2 kids on a bicycle. The front kid is doing that sign. I'm not going to rap the lyrics. I'm not going to rap the lyrics. I'm only describing what I see here, because I don't want a copyright strike on me. Okay. Now it's see. Why did my audio turn out? Am I? Dun dun dun. Okay. Oh. Something really strange happened. They yeeted. So in a hiccup, my audio went out and StreamYard yeeted this video.
It's enumerated as number 13 on the lyrics order.
Okay, okay. We are back to me describing what's going on. Dun, dun, dun. No, Mr. Short went up to the stand. Let's get it back. Dun, dun, dun.
To order, Your Honor, it's enumerated as number 13 on the lyrics order.
Okay.
Yes, Your Honor. First of all, just as a general proposition, I'm not sure why Wooney Lee, performing under Slime Life Shorty, a music video that he puts out, would be admissible in this case against my client and Mr. Kendrick for that matter. Well, I understand the argument that they're all co-conspirators, and I understand that that's a jury question, but I'm struggling on the furtherance of a conspiracy, because I can't believe that we would all take the view and just take the view as a society that every song written is somehow in furtherance of a conspiracy, even if it's written by someone who's under investigation, as Wooney Lee was at one time. I'm not sure when this song was published, but to me, just because Wooney Lee was once a co-conspirator doesn't mean his out-of-court statements just come in. And in this song, he engages in fiction and in hyperbole. Says, free Shannon, he the one who had them ranning with that cannon. Those words I would submit are part of this song because they happen to rhyme, but just because they happen to rhyme doesn't make them accurate or have trustworthiness or admissibility. And I would certainly object to just playing the song written by someone else that Mr. Stillwell has nothing to do with the writing, the lyrics, the production of, that references him committing crimes with firearms. That seems highly inappropriate, and I'm not sure what rule of evidence would dictate that that would be admissible.
All right, if these lyrics have already been litigated, though, we're not going to relitigate them now. So I think this was covered in that prior order.
Yes, Your Honor. These specific words are covered in the order on page.
Go down to the page. I want to get cite to the right page within the order, Your Honor. On page 35 of the order, when we list the lyrics that were litigated.
He didn't write the song. He just rapped it.
Well, I'll just put on the record that I wasn't exactly heard during that hearing. I don't believe, that's my personal feeling, and I'm just going to ask for, if we're sticking with the ruling back then, I'm going to ask for a continuing objection, and I just want to make
All
sure my
right, you can
objections
have
are
a
noted.
continuing objection, and to whatever extent you might be asking reconsideration, there is enough there that by a preponderance, this could be
He didn't write the song.
admissible under the co-conspirator exception. Now, whether the jury ultimately thinks that is the case or not is up to them, but evidentially speaking, the state has met its burden.
And Your Honor,
Yeah, that's a good point, Lulmis says. I cannot believe she's still going to claim these rulings even after 4 pleas. Yeah, what I'm wondering here is, under what circumstance was it allowed in? Was it as evidence against Mr. Stillwell, or was it as evidence in general, or was it as evidence against somebody who now have pled out? I actually don't remember.
The only thing I want to add is just the portion, and I don't want to relitigate all the lyrics, the portion about Free Little Rod. I would ask that that be redacted from the video as impermissible character evidence. I do appreciate that it's in the indictment, but it's in like page 40 something of the indictment.
Well, the
4-hour.
jury's going to have the indictment back with them when they go to deliberate. So whatever page it's on, they'll have an opportunity to look at it. And, you know, they'll be instructed to consider all of the issues that they're supposed to be considering in this case. So.
Yeah, and if I don't have case law at hand, and I don't even know if it would support my position, Your Honor, but it just seems that doing an end run around the rules of evidence by putting something in an indictment.
All right, well, that's not what the law holds, so I'm going to overrule your objection.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Yeah, but it's really good that he puts it on the record, folks, because that in itself might be an appellate issue. That is it really a law that is not according to the Constitution cannot be followed. So that is an interesting objection. Good that he put that one in.
Y'all are not going to highlight that particular little 3 words though, right? Okay.
No.
All right, next video. So that one is admissible and admitted over objection. What's the next? Can y'all queue up the next one? And what?
Okay.
What's the exhibit number for the next one?
Your Honor, this will be 47 NN.
Okay, and is this, you said this was a music video by Mr. Stillwell?
Yes, Your Honor,
And how is Mr. Lee introducing this one?
because he's in the video, Your Honor.
Okay. And this you would be offering as what? You said an admission by a party opponent?
Yes, Your Honor, and this was also included in our lyrics order as well. Your Honor.
And so that's already, okay, so lyrics wise, that determination has already been made. And do you plan to play it also because there's something visually we need to see?
Yes, Your Honor, this,
Music video was also filmed at the same, we believe the
Okay.
same Exxon gas station or Texaco gas station, as well as Mr. Stillwell is wearing a YSL chain in the video. They, some individual in the video use the YSL hand signals in the video. And it's only 30
Lord have mercy, we have litigated that issue to death and y'all have shown that over and over and over again. So do we need it for anything other than that?
I believe the fact that they are filming it in the same location, which we believe is.
All right, can you show that in like a 20-second clip?
The whole video is 38 seconds, Your Honor. So it's a very
Okay.
short video.
When we're saying the same location, the same Texaco.
Let's just watch it.
And okay. And in order for me to not get a copyright strike, let me describe it. Here is 3 people. I think they're rapping because their mouths are open. Here is the same 3 people. Now it went dark. And I believe that was it.
Wipe your nose. There's other individuals. Mr. Nichols is in this video as well as Mr. Lee is in this video, Your Honor. So the 38 seconds does more than just speak of co-conspirator statements, but also other evidence regarding the enterprise, Your Honor.
Can I just ask a question, because it's.
Roger Kint, $10. So, for everyone who was paying attention Friday, the only way to beat corruption is transparency. So, whoever said I will get in trouble, FFT, never do business with crooks and don't keep proof. I think one of the best quotes on YouTube is stop self-snitching. Get it? And for me, even if you think you're only being a witness, get a lawyer. Get a lawyer. Because this prosecution will take anything you said and hold it against you.
When we're saying the same text code, what do we?
I believe that's the location at 151 Cleveland Avenue.
Oh, okay, on Cleveland Ave.
All right. Any further argument?
I would just like a continuing objection. I know, I acknowledge it's been litigated.
All right. And then what's the third one?
Your Honor, the third one is, I guess they call it vlogs, video logs. Your Honor, there's only certain timestamps that are relevant, and so I can point to the certain timestamps that are actually relevant.
And then we'd only play those?
Only the relevant sections, yes.
would be-
We only
okay.
play the relevant portions. It's a 12-minute video, so we're cutting it down.
Okay. And a video log. Okay, what's here? It says, I have no clue. There are people looking at something.
Right. Who
Okay, they are litigating each timestamp. Oh, this is going to be fun to going back and forth.
whose vlog is this?
The vlog is called A Night with YSL and 4L.
Right. Who posted it?
Hold on.
Yeah, do you actually know that? Do you have the foundation for it?
And is Mr. Lee in it?
Yes.
Okay.
That could be a cutout from anything and spliced together. We have no idea.
And is this offering anything new?
Yes.
What?
So it shows Mr. Lee, they're at a music studio. There's a portion that shows Mr. Williams in the video. It shows Mr. Kendrick in the portion. It shows Mr. Farley in the video. And then specifically, Your Honor, there's a portion in which Mr. Lee, in speaking with the cameraman and another individual, says something to the effect of, that's why we put that shit on a nigga's tombstone, Your Honor. And what we have is a picture.
Folks, you just saw Mr. Weinstein look down on his phone. He was answering me. So everybody, wave to Mr. Weinstein. Hello. You can see us, but it's fun. This is something I absolutely adore with these lawyers. They care so much. They care so much. And they have this nailed to the ceiling by now. They know to be prepared for shenanigans. They have litigated tons of these matters by now. So they know this is the objection. I want a continuous objection, yada, yada, yada.
that's already been admitted of the word slat across Donovan Thomas's tombstone. And so he specifically said they're actually talking about slime right before he makes that comment, and he does his finger over his mouth as in to say, shh, that's why we put that shit on the nigga's tombstone. And again, we have a picture of slat over Mr. Donovan
Like
Thomas.
superimposed over
His mother went to
his actual tombstone has.
we could show you the picture, Your Honor.
Okay, well, I don't know how that could possibly fit with your theory of the case, but it's your case, so okay.
How slat across Donovan Thomas's tombstone?
Yeah, slime life all the time, or whatever it means. That is them honoring Donovan Thompson. They are honoring him. You absolute nincompoop. You. They are showing their respect. You absolute twat. Oh. Yeah, as Cat without the Not Williams says, even the judge seems to be questioning the point they are making. Carrie H, I enjoy when Page roast the state's case. Yeah, I think we're going to see a lot of it going forward.
The worst. That's the opposition gang defacing.
I know. That makes it really weird. But it's not for me to determine. Let me see that part of the video.
Okay. Looking at that snippet of the video, it doesn't seem disrespectful at all. That really doesn't look. I stand by my initial comment. I think they're honoring him. Honoring him. Oh, I forgot to do this. Yeah. If I get copyright struck, we will notice in a few minutes.
There's a section where Mr. Lee says, we have more stuff than you. And then he says, the only thing y'all have more than us is dead niggas. So that's another portion that.
Deadness?
Dead and words. Dead and words.
Oh, okay. All right, so you would then propose to play those two portions? Because the rest of it before then.
Out of context, yeah, but I don't think that is the actual meaning. But then again, this prosecution are claiming that Nicki Minaj lyrics are pro YSL in this trial and supposedly used against Mr. Williams. So. Yeah. I must say, I don't actually think it is. Yeah, it's not nice. It isn't. But in a weird way, it is.
Sorry, I misunderstood. I thought you were saying that Donovan Thomas's mother had slat engraved on her son's tombstone.
No, Your Honor.
Okay, I got you now.
Okay.
It's graffiti over his tombstone.
Yes, Your
Okay.
Honor.
All right. So, but the previous portions that are just, oh, it's this person and that person, the other person, we already know all of that, right? So it would just be these two portions.
And then one last portion, Your Honor, that I don't think associates Mr. Lee with Darius Ford, who was killed, is in this video as well. And that's a small portion at 9:08 to 9:11.
Okay. Back to describing. It is a room with pictures.
To 1:30.
And people with money. And
So regarding the graffiti,
Mhm.
I don't know why it seems to me like this is something that would be asked of Mr. Lee. And then if he, potentially this could be impeachment, but I don't know why the out of court statement in and of itself would be admissible.
Okay, so can y'all just ask him, during the filming of some video, did you say?
You're right. I think it is important for the jury to see the context in which he made this statement. This is not just a, hey, did you say this? They were literally talking about YSL, slime. He's showing his every slime play nasty. ESPN, we believe every slime play nasty tattoos. And then in the course of that, literally brags about putting something on someone's tombstone, Your Honor. Me asking him does not give the jury any of the context around how he said it, when he said it, and the fact of the matter is the smugness of what he says about it.
The what?
Why he says it. And
No, I heard just the last part.
the smugness
The smugness
of how
which
he
he
says
said it.
that. And I think that is important when this enterprise is claiming to not have killed Mr. Thomas, and it is the state's theory that this enterprise were the ones responsible for Mr. Thomas's death, and essentially even after his death, bragged about it in songs, in music, and in videos such as this.
All right, I'm going to permit that.
Can I continue, Judge?
Yes. All right, if that's the only issue, then those other two portions are admitted without objection, and we can go ahead and get Mr. Lee and the jury back in.
all right. Thank you to STS for gifting a membership. Thank you so much. STS again. Incompetence and deceit are not mutually exclusive. I agree. Vince Lotho, I can't afford a membership. Like a GD, I need one. Well, it's $3 per month, and you just posted a $3 super chat. Okay. Apparently, a smug tone as interpreted by Miss Hilton is apparently a crime. Skipping ahead.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. All right, go ahead, Ms. Hilton. That exhibit is admitted.
Thank you, Your Honor. Permission to publish State's
may.
Exhibit 45 NN.
All right. Posting of video. Dun, dun, dun. Followed up by some questions, I assume.
2 minutes and 51 seconds. Just a few questions. Where was that video, like portions that was at a gas station? Where was that gas station located?
Where, right here?
Yes.
On Cleveland.
Okay. Do you know the address on Cleveland, where it is?
No.
Let me ask you, is this a gas station that is across from the old McDonald's?
It might be a Chevron. I don't know which one it is.
Okay. Now, in that song, you talk about the ops. Who would you consider to be the ops of YSL?
I don't know.
You don't know?
Somebody in the song. I mean, in the song, I don't know who I was talking about. It's just something cool to use or say in your song.
What about outside of the song? You said that YSL is a gang the last time we talked. Who would be considered the ops of YSL, the gang?
Please say Mondo.
I guess whoever say that is.
Who would you consider to be some of the ops of YSL, the gang?
Please say Mondo.
Nobody.
Nobody.
He didn't write the song. Exactly.
Do you consider YFN Lucci an op of YSL?
I don't consider him a YSL.
Within Instagram, have you ever talked about Lucci specifically with other individuals of YSL?
Yes.
And have you talked about him in a positive way, a negative way? What do you think?
Maybe clowning.
You clowned him?
Yeah, or laughing at something.
Okay. Do you recall ever speaking with Mr. Garlington about YFN Lucci specifically?
Yeah, it was a post on Instagram that was funny.
Do you ever recall speaking to Mr. Garlington in a direct message about YFN Lucci?
About a post that was made on Instagram, yes.
Okay. And do you recall what your conversation was with him, with Mr. Garlington?
Nah, I don't remember it by heart.
This is one of in Europe at least, there was a TV show in the 80s called Allo Allo. It's about a comedy show about the French resistance in occupied France. And the cafe owner, René Leclerc, just René, his wife always caught him and the waitresses. And he always got out of it by saying, "You stupid woman," with some poor excuse. And it fits to Miss Hilton. I honestly say it fits. Absolutely clueless. Song lyrics. It's so stupid. Good morning. Oh, there was a police officer, Officer Crabtree, who allegedly tried to speak French, which was English with a bad French accent. Went in and said, "Good morning." And when instead of "I've got some news," he says, "I have a nose." Stuff like that. It's so funny. Go find it on YouTube. It's really, really funny. Here is the evidence they plan to. Here's the evidence they forgot they should have showed to the defense, I guess.
I have specific objection to my legal approach.
Oh, Jesus Christ, that's a lot of paperwork. And that gets us to sidebar counter 322. Oh, and I can skip ahead again. Oh, we are up to 14 new members, I think, with that generous gifted membership by STS. Thank you so much. Yes, they found Gaither's report. And STS gifted one more. Thank you so much. Thank you. Getting us to 15 new members.
Yes.
Yes, you have.
Mr. Lee, I'm going to
Did you
show you
redact it
what's
this
been marked
time?
as 69
Ms.
and
Hilton, you incompetent fly.
And looking at 69 NN on the first page, page 1296, I want to direct you towards the bottom of the page. Do you see a message between yourself and the individual Scarface, spelled SXAR_FAXE?
Miss
Yes.
Hilton.
Yeah.
And looking at,
Miss Hilton, sometimes you call people boss who isn't really a boss. It can be ironic, like calling you competent. Or the Honorable Attorney Hilton. That's ironic.
the bottom of that page, do you see a conversation in which Scarface sends you a message that says, on God, what them N-words must done? They said something crazy. Do you see that?
Yeah.
Okay. And is that message on February 19, 2019?
Yeah.
Okay. And then do you see something where you respond to him and say that N-word Lucci and some N-words said something about don't say slat because they rats?
Yes.
Okay. And is that also on February 19, 2019?
Yeah.
Right. And then does Scarface respond to you on the same day and say, F them boys, I'll have to talk to you in person?
Yeah.
And then on the second page, do you respond, say no more slime?
Yeah.
All right. And is that you talking about YFN Lucci?
I think, I don't know, because I don't remember the coach, but I think so. I mean, I don't know who else that could be.
Okay. All right. Now, have you had the occasion to be in a video of a rap song with Mr. Shannon Stillwell?
You said, did I do a video with him?
Have you been in a video with him with one of his songs?
I think so. I don't know if it was his song, but yeah, he was on there.
Okay. And have you had the opportunity to look at that video in preparation for your testimony?
Yeah.
How many here believes they didn't do it the first time he was on the stand, but they, we better actually try to act like lawyers in the break? Yeah.
I'm going to show you what's been marked as Exhibit 47 NN. Is that the video with Mr. Stillwell that you are also in the video?
On the CD you just gave me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's see.
Hello, GD.
You're on this time of state with like a 10 or 6 Exhibit 47.
Everybody say hello to
into
GD,
evidence.
my first and best moderator.
All right, that's admitted, subject to the continuing objection.
Oh. That was it. Usually, the judge does not say it is subject to a continuous objection. Huh. And I have to do this again so I don't get a copyright strike. And let's see here. Yeah, this should be okay.
Now, on the side of that video, on the caption, do you see where it says OG.bull slat talk?
Yeah.
Okay. Is slat a word that is used by members of YSL?
Slat.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. And what does slat mean?
Your Honor, if we were to publish this, I'm going to ask if there's a way we could move that box so that the jurors could.
I can't see what you're seeing on that screen, but if it's one of those gray boxes that seems to float a lot of times, can y'all do something about that?
We can't,
I can't even see what it looks like.
it's the podium screen, but I don't think it fits. I don't think it fixed the other cameras.
Well, this is the one the jury sees.
Right, it's still.
Is it on that
Yeah.
one?
We're good.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Mistrial.
Fixed?
Yes,
Okay,
fixed.
great.
Blurry, but fixed. What does SLAT mean?
It's just a word to use, like lingo.
Okay.
Slat.
And does SLAT have a
Anything.
specific,
It can mean anything you want, however you want to use it.
does SLAT mean slime love all the time?
If you want to use it in that way, you can, but it's up to however you want to use it.
Have you used that to mean slime love all the time?
Not that I can't remember. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
Do you recall taking a plea in this case?
Yes.
And do you recall filling out some documentation when you took
Oh
the plea in this
God.
case?
Yes.
Right. And in that documentation, was there a definition of what SLAT means?
I don't remember by heart.
Okay. Will taking a look at a copy of your plea agreement help refresh your memory as to whether or not there was a definition of what slime love all the time
The
means?
No, I
jury
didn't say
must
that
be
wasn't a
so
definition. I just
tired
said,
of
like,
this
you asked me
damn
what do it
plea
mean. I'm
agreement.
telling you, it can mean whatever you want it to mean, however you want to use it.
Okay. So just so I'm clear though, is that one of the ways you can use it?
Yeah.
All right. Now, in that video, where was that video? Where was that video filmed?
Can you put it back up here? I wasn't even paying attention.
Sure. In looking at that freeze frame, are you able to tell where that video was filmed?
I can't really see the background, but I just know it's outside.
Okay. Does that look like the same gas station where your video was filmed?
I don't remember. That's why I asked, can you play it again? But it might be. I don't know.
Okay. We'll play a few seconds of it.
I hit pause really fast, but sometimes that is not enough. All right, I think we're safe.
Okay. And in that video, do you see Miles Farley?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you also see Mr. Cormarvius Nichols in that video?
I don't know. I don't know. If he was, I wasn't paying attention.
And in that video, is Mr. Stillwell wearing a YSL chain?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. And to your knowledge, do you know if Mr. Stillwell was ever signed to YSL, the record label?
I don't know. I know he was trying to get signed.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Now, a few years ago, did you have the occasion to be present at a hearing involving Mr. Rodalius Ryan and Damone Blaylock?
Yes.
And were you present in that hearing to support Mr. Ryan and Mr. Blaylock?
Yes.
Okay. At some point during the course of that hearing, did you ever send a brain emoji or a rat emoji to a young lady by the name of R. Smith?
Can you repeat that? Somebody
Sure.
cough.
So, at some point during the course of that hearing, did you ever send a brain emoji and a rat emoji to a young lady by the name of R. Smith?
Think so, yeah.
Excuse me, M. Smith. I'm sorry. What was your purpose of sending a rat emoji?
Because she was lying.
And why did you send her a brain emoji?
Because she was lying, and I just didn't know what was wrong with her brain.
Did you make any postings about Mr. Ryan after that hearing? Yes or no?
Yes.
All right. And Your Honor, I think we need to approach this very briefly.
All right.
Okay. Well, if this is the broad that testified earlier, yeah, we know she was lying. So, but folks, don't contact witnesses. It's a bad, really, really bad idea. Denise says, I don't know if some of these videos are available on YouTube. I have no idea. Isabella Crespe, yes, that's her. Yeah, well, they called her a liar. And yeah, she was a liar. Her on the stand during that cross-examination completely crumbled. Either way, you should never contact a witness. Even if you know they are lying, there are other ways that don't get you in trouble to do that with. Contact a lawyer. Contact the prosecution. Show. Nobody, do not contact the prosecution. Contact a lawyer. And we are up to live again. This is why I prefer the recap format. That way I can skip all of this. So I'm probably going to do, because the main reason I wanted in on the very beginning here is what will actually happen. Will there be a mistrial? Will they call for a new mistrial? What will they do? So that is now taken care of. So I will go up until their lunch break. And then I'm going to have a nap, have something to eat, as I hope you guys can have too. And then I will return at about 5:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And because recap makes a 9-hour stream, maybe a 3.5 hour stream, with skipping all the unnecessary stuff. I can prepare a bit better by not having those damn videos in, so I can be interrupted all the time. So yeah, now when the trial seems to be ongoing, unless something extraordinary happens, then of course I will go live with you guys. But other than that, recap works better for me. It's not as many hours, and we can skip all of this sidebar thingy. Wait, I did put it up, what? Sidebar counter 333! If I didn't, I did it again. Whoops, I did. I'm not going to sing. Nick, do not sing. Do not sing. It is enough that your better half is taking you to karaoke once in a while and fills you with beer, so you start believing you can sing. All right, we're back.
Now, in the picture that you posted, do you remember the words that you said? Just generally, do you remember the words that you said?
What picture?
Okay. I believe I asked you after that hearing, did you post Mr. Ryan on social media?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. And do you recall that post?
Yes.
Okay. Do you recall the words that you said in the post?
Yeah.
All right. Specifically, I'm going to ask you about a portion that says, I'm sorry we made you thug early. Excuse me. P.S. I'm sorry we made you thug early, little thug. Do you recall posting that?
Yes.
Okay. What made you post that?
I was listening to a song and it reminded me of his situation. That was the lyrics to a song, La Boosie song.
Okay. And what specifically about we made you thug reminded you of Mr. Ryan?
Like in the song, he referenced to himself as how the streets or your environment can take a childhood away from a kid,
Okay.
whether you're guilty or innocent or whatever the situation is. And I just felt like they're related to his situation, that he had to grow up in the streets, and the streets can strip a child of a childhood.
Okay. All right. Permission to approach, Your Honor.
You may.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it is.
And showing you what's been marked as
Actually
44
correct.
and in, is this the post that you
Situation
made?
can strip.
Yes.
All right. And is that a
It's
fair and
out
accurate
of the
depiction of the post
childhood.
that you made? Does it look like the post?
Oh,
that you
yeah.
made? All right. Your Honor, this time to stay with like a tender 44 and in into evidence.
GD has tornado watch. He's safe, GD.
All right.
He's safe. He's safe.
Can y'all approach, please? And we're going to take a quick bathroom break while we discuss this next thing.
Okay. Unsolicited sidebar. This is getting interesting. The judge is calling for sidebar. Why? Sidebar counter 324. Yeah, we are already live. I can't skip. Oh God, they're going to have a bathroom break, which means I can go and get myself something to drink. Do you want to listen to a song while we wait? Well, it's not like you have any choice in the matter. What? Oh yeah, I forgot. No, where did that go? Hold on. I had a vote on which song you wanted published, and you chose this one. Let me just get it up and running so I can show you something while I go fetch me something to drink. It is processing. 56 seconds long.
Thug out the clink, chains clatter on the floor. Car dreams become real, freedoms at the door. Low mic quest, squad rolling deep with the raw concrete. Jungle pain, lives change forevermore. Eyes wide, feel the breeze, taste of liberty. No handcuffs, no lock, no visibility. Corner block, street, up street credibility. Twilight turned dark, pure versatility. Free at last, chains undone. Walk behind out of the slums. Chant lights the gun.
Right, that was the song you voted on Friday, if I remember correctly, or if it was Thursday. I don't remember. All right, let's see, what do we have? We need songs about the dirtiest Hilton that doesn't want to allow defendants. Not today. I will think about. Can we save that to Friday panel show? I mean, first hour is somewhat structured, and then it's more or less free for all. Can we save that for Friday? Only 2,800. I grew up in the hood. I can agree. The streets can take your childhood real fast if you're not careful. Yeah, there are many ways your childhood can be stripped off you. My mother caught the big C when we kids were quite young. And so my entire childhood was my mother having cancer. She had first breast cancer. They got rid of that, they believed. Apparently they didn't catch all of it, so bone cancer. So she, for the last 10 years of her life, she had bone cancer. And this is 1980s. So they didn't have back then what the treatment you have today. So yeah, many ways you can be stripped of your childhood. many ways. Okay. Well, thank you, Honey 2800. Thank you. Now, I believe also that is when I learned, now, not during the time, but after I learned what a real man is. A real man, I must say, is my dad. He did not leave my mother's side for a second. Sickness in health. And he taught me something that when it comes to, you know, there is some kind of, you know, Andrew Tate and all of those, how to conquer as many women as possible. For me, that only means you can't keep a woman, because I think that is what separates boys from men. It's not how many you can conquer. It is, can you keep one? And my mom and dad met when they were 20 and 22, and they stick together. Now, my father met a wonderful woman later in life, absolutely wonderful woman. But yeah, he is by far my role model when it comes to that thing. Let's see here. Nick, do you think the judge is a little cranky today? Yeah, I think she really took offense of the state when the plea deal negotiations broke through. They were at probation. If you just with Mr. Williams, they were at probation as long as he did some factual standings. And when he couldn't do it, as the artist he is, they wanted him in prison for 45 years, 25 in prison, or something of the sort. I think the judge took offense of that, clearly. That it is as if, my interpretation at least, it was as if she said to them, and she did somehow, by, well, you clearly don't seem to think they are dangerous, since you were prepared to offer probation. And yeah, I think she took offense of the nastiness of the prosecution to go from probation to 25 years. Nick was a redhead? Well, my beard was ready-ish, and my hair was medium blonde with red-ish things, so not a proper redhead. But yeah. Crystal, I went down to the coast. I saw the USS Lexington, but I was pretty much stayed in Nolan. Okay, you're talking about vacations. You did go see the bats come out from under the bridge. Yeah. Was Ozzy Osbourne near? Don't let Ozzy Osbourne near a bat. Let's see here. Yeah, I think one of the things that I think struck a chord with Judge Whitaker was that Mr. Steele was really, really open with that he did not like this. He thought they were winning, but Mr. Williams just wanted to go home. I think that struck a chord with her. That because Mr. Steele is highly, highly respected in Georgia, not by this prosecution's team, but the entirety of the Georgia legal community have the deepest respect for Mr. Steele. He wins appeals. He not only get the off comment, he actually wins appeals, and that brings respect. That brings respect. So yeah, I do believe that because Judge Whittaker is aiming for Georgia Supreme Court, and Mr. Steele has been in front of the Georgia Supreme Court on numerous occasions. He's really, really good at what he does. Sorry. Sheriff Shuck, state didn't get the foundation they needed to enter that into evidence. They didn't get the answer they expected, so it doesn't allow the post to come in. Probably. Good catch. Good catch. Get coffee and scotch. No, it's Monday. I save my scotch for Fridays. Where is Mr. Jingles? He was here at the start. And then he got bored and went outside. Still nothing from... They have been away from... Yeah, I mean, 11 minutes, that's a long break for Judge Whittaker. Dun, dun, dun. Crystal, I'll give the state another 3 to 5 hours before they screw up so bad that the judge is willing to entertain a plain mistrial with prejudice, or Doug Weinstein and Max go ballistic. It might be that this is one of these days where Judge Whittaker almost... Oh, please. Oh, fuck up. Please? Prosecution, fuck up. Fuck up so I can declare the mistrial with prejudice. Because I don't think so. But this might be one of these days, because now she have seen with the plea deals and how the prosecution acts when they don't get exactly what they want. That didn't go well with Judge Whittaker. Really, really didn't go well. And the comments this morning, when Mr. Shard says, I believe this is the state's tactic, and she said in open court, I think you're giving the prosecution too much credit. I mean, that's a hard burn coming from a judge. Hard burn. Crystal, I wonder if she's covering for the state they were about to introduce something that should have been introduced. Oh, they're back. Let's see what this was all about.
Sure.
Okay. Approach again. That gets us to a lot of sidebars today. Sidebar counter 325. Oh, wow. I'm trying to count 1, 2, 3, 8, 13, 14. Yeah, 15 new members today. 15 new members today. Thank you so much.
We'll just probably take her after lunch. We'll just get through Mr. Lee and then break for lunch.
Thank you, we appreciate that, Your Honor.
Okay, get through Mr. Lee and break for lunch.
All right, let's get the jury, please.
Black people on stocking. Still. Yeah, they need to hurry up and let's go to cross-examination. Hi, Libby.
Thank you. You can be seated. And States 44, the picture is admitted. Go ahead, Ms. Hilton.
Oh,
Thank you. May we publish 44N?
they were admitted. Okay. It took a good while, though. Okay, what's this picture? I guess it's something completely meaningless.
Now,
Oh,
is
they
that
are
the
showing off
picture of the
money.
post that you made?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, a few moments ago,
In $1 bills, that's not much. Just saying.
we talked about you sending the witness a rat emoji and a brain emoji. Have you heard of the term
What does
snitching?
that have to do with this picture?
Have I heard the term?
Yes.
Of course.
And what does snitching mean?
Telling on somebody or lying on somebody to make them go down for something.
And have you seen the rat emoji associated with snitching, or rats? That's a rat associated with snitching.
Yeah.
Of course. He might have used it. What does that has to do with the defendant?
Are you familiar with a location called The Web in the Cleveland Avenue area?
I'm familiar with hearing the term, hearing the word, yeah.
And what is The Web?
It could be like wherever you decide to go chill at.
Well, I'm talking specifically, are you familiar with a specific location in the Cleveland Avenue area called The Web?
It's multiple places called the web.
Are they all in the Cleveland Avenue area?
No.
Okay, so I'm talking specifically about Cleveland Avenue. Do you have a place in Cleveland Avenue that you are familiar with called The Web?
Yes.
Okay, where is it located?
Okay.
The park,
When you say the park, what do you mean?
Cleveland Avenue Park.
Okay. Are you familiar with a home that is called The Web in Cleveland Avenue?
Yeah, I heard somebody say that before.
Have you ever been to The Web?
Not that I can remember. I don't think so.
Do you know what street it is on?
On Cleveland.
Now, as an artist, do you all sometimes do vlog videos or vlog videos?
Yeah.
Okay. Can you describe to the jury what is a vlog video?
Just a video that you make. I mean,
What
a
happened?
vlog is just a video.
And what normally is happening in the video?
People talking or doing stuff. I don't know, whatever you want to do in the vlog video.
Have you had the occasion to do a vlog video titled A Night with 4L and YSL?
As you in the chat so correctly points out, it's not vlog videos. It is video logs. Vlog video is it's like saying the Los Angeles. Or I don't know. It's like saying Bitcoin coin. Or Jesus Christ, video log. Oh, vlog video. Oh my. If there is anybody under 30 on the jury, they are face palming so hard. Even me saying face palming would make them face palm.
I know the video that you're talking about, but it's not my vlog video.
Okay. Are you in the vlog video?
Yes.
Okay. At portions, do you talk to the camera in that video?
Yes.
At portions, do you take the actual camera and start filming other people in the video?
Yeah.
All right. What is 4L?
For life.
Is 4L also a group?
It can be if you want it to be, but it's basically anybody can use it. Like,
have you had an opportunity to look at that video prior to your testimony today?
can't say that again.
Have you had an opportunity to look at that video prior to your testimony today?
I think, yeah.
I'm going to show you what's been marked as Exhibit 46 NN. Is that the video that we are referencing?
Yeah.
All right.
That's the title of it, I think.
Okay. Your Honor, this time the state would like to admit 46 NN and publish the relevant portions.
All right, that's admitted.
First, we're going to start at 9:08 seconds into the video.
And I can't show this. I can't. Okay. Here this is.
In his hand, who is that?
You said with the what in his hand?
The white shirt and the cup in his hand.
Look like Big.
Okay. Do you know Big's real name?
There's.
All right. And the person with the pink hat, who is that?
I can't see their face that good.
Oh, that's a pink hat. Okay.
Okay.
It look like R5.
R5.
Yeah.
Right. Do you know his real name?
No.
Okay. All right. Now I want to show you.
And I can't show that. And this I can show. What are you waiting for? Oh, playing more? Let me check first. Yeah, I'm really trying to avoid any kind of copyright strike. All right, let's check.
Is that you when you said the only thing that they have more of us is dead in words?
You said, was that me?
Yes.
Yeah.
And now lastly, I'm going to show you 3 minutes and 18 seconds to 3 minutes and 48.
And showing tattoos, blah, 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 blah.
That you had ESPN tattooed on you. What does ESPN mean?
I don't know.
Have you ever heard every slime play nasty?
Yeah.
Is that one of the meanings of ESPN?
I guess if you want it to be.
Have you ever used ESPN to mean every slime play nasty?
Not that I can recall. I don't remember.
Okay. When you tattooed that on your body, did you tattoo it to mean anything specific?
I seen somebody with it first and it looked cool and I got it.
Are there other members of YSL that have that ESPN tattoo?
I don't know.
It's in blood. We wrote this shit in blood. I probably had it before.
Sorry, folks, I can't show it. Sorry. Why are they repeating the same? Okay, now they're repeating something. That should be objected to. They already played it. Oh, I'm going to play. Oh, I mean, they already played it. When is the first 403 objection coming in today?
That would sound like I said.
All right. I want to show you what's already been admitted as State's Exhibit 4Y.
Yeah, this is why I prefer doing recaps, because yeah. I must say, I saw this in the comments. This looks photoshopped. Now, we do know Donovan Thomas' mother testified to graffiti on the gravestone, but me as a Photoshop master, it just looks wrong to me.
Tombstone, the name on the tombstone?
It say Don. I don't know what the rest of it say, but Thomas Jr.
All right. And do you see the word SLAD graffitied over his tombstone?
Yes.
Right. And I asked you earlier about the ops. Would Donovan Thomas Jr. be considered an op of YSL?
I don't know. Not that I know.
Why would Donovan Thomas be an OP of YSL? Didn't you just say he was for months now said he was in a competing gang, right? Roland Arthur looks more like draw than Photoshop. Yeah, maybe. Even in GIMP, I can make it look better. Yeah.
Or, I don't know.
Court's indulgence for a moment.
No further questions.
All right, Mr. Charter, Mr. Weinstein.
Wow! We are up to cross-examination. Thank you. John Schön says paint dripping in the teeth. That is not possible on a horizontal surface. Good point. Good point. OOP means opposing. Okay, thank you.
Mr. Lee, good morning. How you doing today?
I'm all right.
All right. My name is Max Shard. I represent Shannon Stillwell. Okay, and you know Shannon, correct?
Yeah.
All right. Cool. Want to ask you about this, the picture you just saw of the tombstone. You ever see that picture before today?
When they showed it to me, I think.
When
Yeah.
who showed it to you?
She showed it to me last week, I think.
She being the prosecutor,
Yeah.
Miss Hilton?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, and you, on that vlog, I think you're calling it a vlog, you made a reference to a tombstone, correct?
Mm-hmm.
All right, and were you referencing Donovan Thomas's tombstone?
No.
Okay. Well, let me just ask you about Donovan Thomas's tombstone, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Did you deface Donovan Thomas's tombstone?
No. I actually thought that was I thought somebody just made that. I didn't know somebody actually went there and did that to his real tombstone in real life.
So when you're saying you actually thought that, are you talking about when you made that vlog?
Is he saying that in the video that was faked? And he didn't know somebody actually went down there? Oh.
You
Nah.
thought that? Or?
I wasn't talking about that. I wasn't talking about his tombstone because I was talking about ESPN. And I said we wrote ESPN on the nigga tombstone. I never said we wrote Slack on the nigga tombstone. I ain't hear that in the video. So I wasn't talking about his tombstone.
Okay. So let me just ask you this. You said you personally did not deface any have you defaced any tombstones?
No.
Okay. Have you been present for the defacing of any tombstones?
No.
Okay. Regarding the picture you just saw on the screen of Donovan Thomas's, or the tombstone that said Donovan Thomas, do you personally know who did that?
No.
Okay. Do you know if it was one of your friends that did that?
I think I would know if they did that, but I don't know them doing that.
Do you know if it was another rapper who did that?
No, I never heard nobody. I never found out or heard nobody say they knew who did something like that.
Do you know if it was a fan who did that?
I don't know who did it.
Okay. Do you know when it was done?
No.
Okay. Mr. Lee, what is your profession?
Music.
Okay, you're a musical artist, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, and in common terms, you're a rapper, you're a hip hop artist, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. I want to ask you a little bit about your profession, okay? Is that okay? All right. When did you start deciding that maybe you wanted to be a musical artist? What age?
I think when I got out of high school, like 18, probably.
Okay.
Around 18.
Okay. Is that when you started, and how old are you now?
25.
Okay. Is that at age 18, is that when you started rapping and working on your craft, or had you been working on it beforehand?
I mean, I worked on it before, but that's when I took serious.
Well, I want to talk about before you started taking it
Okay.
serious. Okay. When did you start writing down lyrics?
8th grade.
8th grade. Okay. Did you, I understand that you, as an 8th grader, you might not have been taking it serious or as you view serious as now, but if I asked 8th grade Mr. Looney Lee what he wants to be, did you want to be a rapper back then?
I think I did. I just didn't have the confidence.
And did you grow up in the Cleveland Avenue area?
Yeah.
Okay. Were you the only person in your class who wanted to be a rapper?
No.
Okay. Did a lot of the young men and women, boys and girls that you went to school with, want to be rappers?
Yeah.
Okay. Is that a common dream in the neighborhood that you're from?
Yeah. It's almost the only dream.
Okay. Now, 8th grade, we're talking about age 13, is that fair?
I think so.
Okay, so we got, and you testified that you started taking things serious at age 18, so we got about 5 years between 13 and 18. Were you doing music that entire time?
On and off.
Is that why you said you weren't taking it seriously?
Yeah, like on and off. I was doing music.
When did you start going to studios?
Real studios.
Any studios?
Told you 8th grade.
8th grade.
It was
Okay.
a house studio though, like in somebody's house.
Where they have computers set up and the ability to mix music and record, etc. But not at the level that you get from a commercial studio.
Right, yeah. It was in a closet.
Okay. All right. When you said you started taking it seriously at 18, what changed? What is different between 17 and 18-year-old Looney Lee as far as his music?
I mean, I was older, so I was able to go to real studios and see bigger things in music. I don't know. And it made me like, I mean, I guess because I was older and I was able to stay out longer or go to studios and stay out late with my friends at the studio. So it made me just like, I mean, I had the time to take it serious. I had the opportunity to take it serious now because I'm 18.
Gotcha. At some point, have you been able to sign a record deal?
Yeah.
Okay. Who do you have a record deal with?
Alamo Records.
And where are they based out of?
New York.
Do they have any sort of affiliation with YSL, the record label? Other than you?
At all? You saying like, I mean, I don't know.
Are they one and the same?
What do you mean?
Are they one and the same? Do the people that run YSL record label run Alamo?
No.
Okay, are they the same people? Do the people that run Alamo run YSL?
No.
Record label. Okay. All right. And what year did you sign with Alamo?
2018.
Okay.
I was 19.
Okay.
I think that's 2018.
How many albums have you made in your career?
Tapes, I mean, 3.
3, okay. And when you say 3, how many songs have been released under?
On each one?
Yeah.
Maybe like 12 to 14 on each one.
Okay. And you rhyme under the name Slime Life Shorty, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Have you had hit songs?
Yeah.
Okay. Could you tell me what your most popular songs are?
Don't Worry. Don't Worry, Baby Boy.
Don't Worry?
Yeah.
Okay. When was that released?
Like 2020 or 2021, one of those years.
Okay.
I think it was 2021.
As a signed artist, do you perform live?
Yeah.
Okay. How often do you perform live?
Whenever I get booked,
How often is that?
like every other weekend.
Okay. And how many people are you performing in front of on average?
I don't even remember the total. I'm just saying it's like whatever the club capacity or the venue capacity is, like that.
Thousands is that fair to say?
Not thousands, but yeah.
Okay, about 1,000.
Yeah, 1,002, maybe, I don't know.
All right. Now let me ask you this: as a signed artist, I'm not talking about when you were starting out. As a signed artist, do you have a team behind you at the record label?
Yeah.
Okay. Do they do they book your shows for you?
Management do that.
Okay. All right. Management does that. How about designing the graphics on your albums and things like that?
Yeah, they do that.
Okay. How about studio time? Who's in charge of booking studio time and paying for studio time?
The label and managers.
Okay. And your social media presence right now, do you have Instagram, Twitter, etc.?
Yeah.
Okay. And what is your moniker on Twitter, for instance? Is it Slime Life Shorty?
I don't even know. I don't even run my Twitter. My label and team do that type of stuff.
That was my next question. So as a signed artist, are you responsible for the tweets that you put out?
No.
Are you responsible for the Instagram posts that you put out as a signed artist?
Not 100% of them.
Okay. Does your record label utilize social media to garner their artist, you, attention?
Yeah, like they might feel like they know the best things to post or to say.
Oh, this is good. This is good, folks. Mr. Shard is now... This usually was done by Mr. Steele, but now it is Mr. Shard adapting and adopting Mr. Steele's way of questioning. And he just got the information in front of the jury. Once you are a record artist, you have somebody else is posting for you. Now, when it comes to Mr. Williams and his questionable, at least in the eyes of the prosecution, I believe, about, mentioning rat and taking down or whatever it was, not the best idea 4 days after you get released on bond. So whoever is in control of that account, if it is Mr. Williams or if it is somebody from the record label, you need to do a lot better before you get Mr. Williams in real deep trouble.
Is it part of a promotional plan?
Yeah.
Okay. These studio sessions that you're able to have the label book for you now, are those, who pays for those?
The label.
Okay. And are those typically at night or during the day?
It's really, you asking when do I book studios or when do people book studios?
When do you book studios?
Typically nighttime.
Okay. And just for my education, sometimes when people say, I'm at the Yo or I'm going to the Yo, what is the Yo?
Studio.
Okay. Yo is short for studio. Okay. Now, with what you have going on in the year 2024, with this label behind you, are you able to use your music to provide for your family
Yes,
and your children?
yeah.
Okay, and do you view your music, your experience in the music industry as a success?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I want to talk to you a little bit about your efforts to break into the music industry, okay? All right. In those years before you were signed, you said you went to people's houses to record.
Yeah.
Why did you go to people's houses as opposed to the studio?
I didn't have no money to book my own studio.
You didn't have the funds?
Yeah, I didn't have the funds to book a real studio session or my own studio session.
Okay, and when we were talking about booking a studio session, I think I know what you mean, but I want to make sure everyone does. You have to rent the room, correct?
Right.
And then you have to also pay an engineer.
Yeah, you gotta pay the engineer. Yeah, like whatever he charged per hour.
Okay. So back then, when you didn't have those funds, you were recording in people's houses. How about your social media at the time? Alamo wasn't running your social media when you were, before you were signed, were they?
No.
Okay. Who was in charge of your social media?
Me.
Okay. And did you try to use social media to increase the public's awareness of you as a rapper?
Yeah.
Okay. Can you tell me some ways in which you would do that?
Hi, Casper.
I guess my name, Slime Light Shawty.
Okay. Did you use hashtags?
Yeah.
Did you talk about upcoming projects that you had coming out?
Yeah.
Did you include pictures of you at the studio or maybe the home studio working on your craft?
Right. Yeah.
You wanted the people to know that you're on the grind, that you're producing music, correct?
Yeah.
You wanted people to know about you. Okay. Did you include references to YSL?
Yes.
In your songs?
Yeah.
And in your social media posts, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. And YSL, of course, is a label that at the time, you're younger than Jeffrey Williams, correct?
Yeah.
At the time when you were trying to make it through, YSL, in fact, had a very popular artist on that record label, correct?
Yeah.
Being Jeffrey Williams performing as Young Thug, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Associating yourself with YSL is in your experience, were you able to bring in fans and potential fans and get them to pay attention to you by doing that, by associating yourself with YSL?
Of course.
Okay. Was that part of your strategy?
Yeah. Yeah, I think so.
Okay. When you were just trying to make it, did you release songs on YouTube?
Yeah.
Okay. Like we just saw a song performed by Shannon, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. And that song was on YouTube, correct?
Yeah.
All right. And it was only, I think, probably about 45 seconds long or something like that, shorter than the usual song, correct?
Right.
Okay. That sort of short song released on YouTube, is that something that before you made it, before you were signed, is that the type of thing that you would release on YouTube to get attention?
Yeah. Videos on YouTube, yeah.
All right. That vlog, we keep calling it, A Night with YSL. I know that wasn't the label that you gave it. 46NN, it's in evidence. Is that the type of media that you would put on YouTube to garner attention to yourself?
Yeah, rappers do that.
Okay. Do you do that?
I was a part of that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that the only vlog you've ever released to the internet?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
I
so-
never really released no vlog. I mean, like, I didn't release it, but I guess, like, you know, the cameraman, the camera crew that be around or whatever, they release it and name it whatever they want to, but yeah.
But you took part in it.
Yeah.
You willingly took part in it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you wanted people to see you on the internet because you thought that would boost your career and the number of people that would potentially buy your music, correct?
Yeah.
So, in your experience as an up-and-coming rapper, songs released to YouTube, that's part of the process, correct?
Yeah.
Blog posts with hashtags that reference YSL or other popular rappers, that's part of the process, correct?
Yeah.
Now, let's talk about your relationship with my client, Mr. Stillwell. What year did you meet Mr. Stillwell?
Probably 2019, maybe.
Around.
I don't remember by heart.
Okay. You did not know him back 2014, 2015, 2016, is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. So in 2019, when you met him, would you consider him a friend?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, how often would you see each other back in 2019, 2020?
Whenever he came to the studio or somebody was shooting a video or something like that,
Okay.
or a show or something.
So you just named three things: Shannon coming to the studio, someone shooting a video, or at a show. Let's unpack that. First of all, it seems that you're saying that your relationship with Shannon, you were friends, but it revolved around music. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, that's how we met.
Okay. When you say at a show, whose show would you see him at?
Their show, when they performed their song, or my show, or anybody who had a show that was around, they were rapping.
Okay. Music videos. Has he ever been present at any of your music videos?
I think so. I don't know. I can't remember.
Have you been present at his?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Now, we talked, I think it's fair to say you're signed, and you're at a certain level in your career now in 2024. When you met Shannon in 2019, to your knowledge, was he signed to a record?
Not to my knowledge.
Okay. To your understanding, was he at that point in the process that you had been years before?
Yeah.
He's trying to make it, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Trying to get attention.
Yeah.
Trying to get eyes on him.
You can tell Miss Love isn't in the courtroom because there are so few objections.
Objection, that is speculation.
Oh, there. Yeah, and there it is. And there it is. Of course. But he did get
You
a lot in
mentioned seeing him at the
before they
studio.
objected.
In that year, 2019, 2020, that time frame, how many days a week would you be in the studio?
Maybe 4 or 5 days out of the week.
Okay. And at that point, these 4 or 5 days of the week, that's Alamo Records paying for your studio time at this point, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. And what studios would they rent for you?
It was different studios. I don't remember all the names of them though.
Okay. What area of towns were they?
Like, I think the station, like Northside Drive area. Around that area, Northside Drive somewhere.
Northside Drive, Atlantic Station. Were there any around Cleveland Avenue?
It was a studio in Cleveland, but it wasn't labeled. They didn't book it. It was just somebody we knew.
Okay. What about on Fulton Industrial?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Do you know an individual by name of that goes by Mook Toven?
Right. Yeah.
Okay, who is Mook? And that's Mooktoven. Who is Mook Toven?
That's the guy that had the studio on Cleveland Avenue at first. Then he moved around different places.
Is he someone that I guess your record label or an individual would contact to book a studio session?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Miss Knight, could you do me a favor? Could you publish 38 NN?
Okay. Yeah, for Mr. Short had told everybody over and over again in this trial, he have watched all the videos, all of them, several times. Whatever this is, he caught something.
Okay. Mr. Lee, I want to talk to you about this post that the state has admitted as 38 NN into evidence. Okay, Mr. Stillwell is not in this photo, correct?
All right.
All right. Now, I see you wearing a hoodie and a pair of shorts that say SLAT and Keep America Slime. And it has make crossed out and it says Keep America Slime. Is this?
Yeah, the Georgia Supreme Court in December of last year made a ruling regarding the height you have to take in court to even consider admitting videos and stuff like that out of a First Amendment perspective. Judge Glanville made his ruling prior to that decision. So this can only be brought on appeal because the decision was already made before. But it should be re-litigated with that. But I do believe they have their continuous objection. It is an appellate issue.
Who made those clothes?
Miles.
Okay, when you say Miles, who's Miles? Miles, is that Miles Farley?
Yeah.
Okay.
And thank you,
Is Miles
Jason,
Farley
for your
a
super
rapper?
Nah.
Does he
He made
does
some,
he want to try to be sometimes?
He tried to be before.
Okay, but the reality is, he makes clothes.
Yeah.
That's how he makes a living, correct?
All right.
And he sells these clothes around Atlanta and around the world, correct?
All right.
Okay. And these particular clothes that you're wearing were in fact made by Miles Farley, correct?
Yeah.
And is Miles Farley a friend of yours?
Yeah.
Okay. So, and does Miles Farley, these clothes that he sells, is it limited to only people that are rappers for YSL? Or does he sell it to the public?
He sells it to anybody who want to buy it.
Okay. And these clothes that you were wearing today, did Miles Farley, or clothes that you were wearing the date that this photo was taken, did Miles Farley give you those clothes to wear?
Yeah.
Okay. And did he ask you to wear them?
I'm pretty sure he probably wanted me to wear it.
And did you wear these clothes to do Miles Farley a favor?
Yeah.
To get his clothing brand out there so more people would buy those clothes,
Right.
and so that he could make a living
Right.
in his lane of this hip hop universe, correct?
Yeah.
All right. Miss Knight, could you do me a favor and publish, where are we?
Yeah, that's another argument gone for the prosecution. He didn't decide to put that on.
No, excuse me.
He did somebody a favor.
39 NN. I'm sorry, 36 NN. I apologize. Okay, let's talk about 36 NN, State's Exhibit 36 NN. Who's in that photo?
Me and Shannon.
Okay. And where was this photo taken?
At the studio.
At the studio?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Do you see the words to the right, the caption?
Yeah.
And this is on OG Bull's page?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, those words, do those words look familiar to you?
Yeah.
And when I say the words, I'm saying F-U-C-K, the other side, put them on TVs about my dogs, going on. Those look familiar to you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Whose words are those?
Them lyrics to my song.
Those are lyrics to a song that you wrote?
Yeah.
Okay, what was the name of the song?
Or the love of it.
One more time?
Where's the love?
Okay, and what year was that song released?
It had to be in, I don't know when, but it had to be in 2020, I guess.
Okay.
I don't know.
Now, it says F the other side. When you wrote those lyrics, or when you performed those lyrics, were you speaking about a specific other side when you wrote that?
Specifically? No. I mean, no. I mean, not nobody in specific.
Okay, well, let me ask you this. Are you familiar with the term drill?
Yeah.
And you familiar with the term trap music?
All right. Yeah.
Okay. Would you agree that those are categories of hip hop, rap in the year 2024?
Yeah.
Okay, and it's kind of like an updated way of, it makes people that say like gangster rap seem a little old because now there's all these different subdivisions, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So this idea of the other side or ops, if I were to go on YouTube and just pull up random songs, random hip hop songs released in 2024, would I see hundreds of rappers talking about their ops?
Objection, speculation.
I don't know what the question's gonna be.
Well, let me ask you this. I can fix it. Your Honor. In the year 2024, and even the years before then leading to where we are today, has the concept or the theme of ops, is that a common theme in hip hop?
Objection, thing is a common thing.
If, to his knowledge, I'll permit it.
To your knowledge?
Everybody got ops when they make music.
Right. So rappers, you've seen rappers in Atlanta use the term ops.
And music.
I think that objection would have been sustained a month ago. But now it's allowed in.
Is it? Yeah.
You've seen rappers in other cities use the term ops.
Yeah.
You've seen rappers in London, England, or other countries using the term ops, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. There's nothing unique about the term ops
No, not to me.
in music by YSL or music by Slime Life Shorty or anything else. That's a common theme, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
You can just use it how you want to use it.
So in this song, where the lyrics are in front of it, and these are up until, where do your lyrics stop on this post?
Where it say dog with 2 exclamation marks.
It's not my dog. Okay, so from the beginning to the 2 exclamation points, those are your lyrics. So you talk about putting people on TVs about my dogs, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's a reference to creating a news report about someone being harmed or killed, right? That's what you're saying as an artist.
Yeah, it could be, yeah.
Okay. Have you ever killed anyone?
No.
Okay. Was what you said in that lyric fiction?
Yeah.
Is a lot of your music fiction?
Yes.
Okay. So here on this post, we have a picture of you and Shannon at the studio. And Shannon posting lyrics that you wrote, correct?
Yeah.
And that you are telling us now you wrote them as a work of fiction. They're not true, correct?
All right.
All right. Let's talk about hashtag NSLB. That stands for No Slime Left Behind, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. And that was, in fact, a title of one of your albums, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. And when you say No Slime Left Behind, why did you choose that as an album for one year, or the title for one of your albums?
Because I feel like slime is a popular thing to push in music, I guess.
Okay. The Left Behind part, have you growing up in Cleveland Avenue, have you seen some of your friends left behind?
A lot of them.
Okay. Does that make you feel good that some of your friends have been left behind?
Nope.
Okay. 2Bs. Hashtag 2Bs. What does 2B stand for?
Big business.
Big business?
Yes, sir.
And that's a phrase that you often say to people, correct?
All right.
You personally are synonymous with that phrase, big business. Correct?
Yeah.
Okay, and what does big business mean to you?
You're doing it big. Whatever you do, do it big. Whatever business you in, make it big, make it count.
And then we see a thanks for an exclusive AWS hat and for this crazy AWS one of none hoodie. Do people, when you're in the studio creating music, do people bring you clothing and just give it to you to market their, much the way Miles Farley does? Is that common?
Yeah.
Is that what Miles Farley does?
Objection, speculation.
Overruled.
Yes,
It
sir.
was speculation, and it
Is
was
that what you do?
overruled.
Like, give me clothes to wear, give people clothes and stuff like that?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
And he comes to the studio to hand out those clothes often, correct?
Yeah.
All right.
Well, that clothes maker is not in the indictment. Not even an unindicted co-conspirator. Not yet, anyway.
Could I, Miss Knight, could you now kindly put up 37 NN? Okay. Mr. Lee, 37 NN, that is my client Shannon in the picture, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. And in this, it says, ain't none more compatible than a trench, a carbon while in the trenches, correct?
Yeah.
All right. And then afterwards it says, and this was posted September 18th, 2020, correct?
I don't see the date, but I guess.
Okay. Well, let me ask you this. Does it have the same hashtag, no slime left behind and
Oh,
two
yeah.
B's?
Yeah.
Okay. And I also see on the bottom, hashtag book in riches on the way.
Uh-huh.
Book in Riches was a song that Shannon was working on back in 2020, correct?
All right.
One of the songs that he was working on, correct?
Right.
How often would, you said that Alamo would book you studio time, how many days a week? If you answered, I'm sorry, I forgot what your answer was. How many days a week would you?
You said how often would they?
Yeah, no, how often would you be in the studio?
About 4 or 5 days out of the week.
Okay. And now how often would you see, you said you see Shannon at the studio a lot. How often would you see Shannon at your studio sessions?
Maybe half of that time.
Okay. So 2 to 3 times a week, is that fair to say?
Yeah.
Okay. And the reality is Alamo was paying for your studio sessions, but other people could show up at your studio sessions and try to get a little time on the mic with the engineer, correct?
Right.
And try to work on their craft when they didn't necessarily have the resources or the company or the label behind them to support them, correct?
Yeah.
Is that what Shannon was doing?
Yeah.
Sustained.
Okay.
Yeah, that might have been a tad too far.
Book in Riches is a project that you knew him to be working on?
Yeah, I think it was a project, a tape.
And OTW stands for On the Way, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So back when you were trying to make it, before you had Alamo behind you, you used to make posts on Instagram, correct?
Yeah.
You used to hashtag your projects.
Yeah.
And try to let the public know that you're working on something, right?
All right.
And you would want the most views you could for your post, correct?
All right.
You'd want it out there. You'd want it reposted.
Yeah.
Okay? And that's where association with Slime and Slat and YSL was able to work for you, correct?
Yeah.
Affiliating yourself musically with YSL led to a whole nother unaffiliated record label signing you to a contract, didn't it?
Yeah,
because you had been able to demonstrate to them that you had the grassroots following that would make you a wise investment for those people in New York, correct?
yeah,
All right. And part of growing that grassroots following is the social media posts, the hashtags, the free studio time,
yeah,
the wearing the clothes, correct?
yeah.
Okay.
Should be going for lunch soon.
Have you heard other rappers?
Oh, that's an interesting point from Tracy Fagan. Could it be that the judge is mad that Love tried to slide in the civil forfeiture? Yeah, I mean, if there is a pending civil forfeiture case, Judge Whitaker can't do anything about it, and Miss Love knows it.
Completely unrelated to Cleveland Avenue, Atlanta, Georgia, Jeffrey Williams used the term slime, slat in their raps.
Yeah,
Mr. Lee, you still with me?
yeah, I said yeah.
Have you seen athletes wipe their nose
Yeah,
to celebrate a sack or a touchdown?
yeah.
I beg the court's indulgence. I have no further questions. Thank you, Mr. Lee.
All right, Mr. Weinstein, do you have questions?
A few, Your Honor.
All right, go ahead.
Okay, a few more questions. Here's Doug
Ms. Knight,
Weinstein.
would you put up 38 and then?
YSL Dog.
Good morning, Mr. Lee. I'm Doug Weinstein. I represent Diamante Kendrick. I think you know him as Yak Gotti, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so for you, just for convenience, I'll call him Yak, okay?
All right.
All right?
Yeah.
Okay. So Ms. Knight's putting up 38 NN. This is the third time I guess you gotten to see this today. Do you recall where this photograph was taken?
At the studio.
At the studio. And y'all are standing outside the studio because I guess you're on a smoke break. Is that correct? And you can't smoke in the studio?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't smoke cigarettes in the studio.
Say that again?
Yeah, you can't smoke cigarettes in there.
I'm glad you clarified that point. You can't smoke cigarettes in the studio, so you're standing outside. And Yak is right behind you in this picture, right?
Yeah.
And you're wearing your Miles Farley clothing, as we've already established. And most of your interactions with Yak were related to recording in the studio and music. Is that correct?
All right.
Did you guys do a song together?
Yeah.
What was the name of that song? Do you remember?
I don't even remember.
You don't remember?
I don't think we ever dropped it.
Never dropped it, but you got it on a reel somewhere, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. So, in other words, your relationship with Yak is music oriented, right?
All right.
How many songs altogether do you think you've written before you were 18 and after 18? How many songs you put together?
I don't even know. I don't remember.
Over 1,000?
Probably so.
Probably so. And those songs, are all those songs factual?
No.
Are all those songs autobiographical, things that you actually did?
No.
So even though you came up on Cleveland, even though you're a rapper, you have an imagination? Is that correct?
Yeah, every artist do.
Every artist does, right?
Yeah.
You don't lack an imagination because you're a rapper.
Right.
The vlogs that you go out and shoot, what's the process for that? Can you just explain it a little bit?
I don't even know.
Are you holding the camera at some point?
You saying, are you talking about in that particular
Just
video?
in general, I'm sorry, you can take that down. I don't want to confuse things.
In general?
In general, like the vlogs, I'd like you to talk about how you do those vlogs.
I guess somebody just record and I don't know, whoever want to get on the camera, just talk or whatever. Talk about your music, talk about whatever you want to talk about.
Okay, and once that's all recorded, who edits that? Do you edit those vlogs?
Nah.
There's some other editor that does that work?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh.
You have any input into that?
Nah, I didn't even know.
Oh, that's good. They are really, really ruining the state. According to the state's case, these are exact descriptions of crimes. How can it be if they just talk and somebody else edits it together?
Or it's gonna get dropped.
Okay, and talking about that, there's a lot of people that have input into the vlog, right? But also into your lyrics, is that correct?
Yeah, sometimes.
Sometimes. So does your producers have input into what goes into those lyrics?
Labels may make suggestions on what you should say or how you should say some stuff or what you should drop or what you should not drop.
Okay, so when we're looking at lyrics that you're singing, you may or may not have written those lyrics, correct?
Yeah.
Even if you have written those lyrics are maybe the product of input from the record label, right?
Yeah.
And there's certain things the record label wants in those lyrics, correct?
Yeah.
There's certain things that are part of the genre of trap music that might be in there, or drill music, correct?
Yeah, it depends on the image that the label want to push.
What was the image they were pushing?
It depends on the image the label want to push. Oh.
For you?
Slime, I guess.
Slime. Okay, and so there's certain tropes, there's certain things that need to be in there, correct? And the label wants you to have those in there.
Objection, speculation.
Well, from your experience, does the label want you to have certain things in those lyrics?
I would think so, yeah.
Okay. All right, I have no more questions for you. Thank you very much.
Redirect.
Yes, ma'am. Maybe approach the court.
You may.
And they are approaching, getting us to sidebar counter 326. Oh, this is interesting. They're basically explaining the music industry. And the state's case is that no, it is that person and that person alone who does everything. Ooh. I need to think about that question. Kat, hey Nick, might be a stupid question, but could Lex Meteor principle apply to the Supreme Court decision, using with caution the song lyrics, or does the principle only apply to criminal offense? I do labor law, folks, and I'm not American, as you might have noticed. Supreme Court decisions is from that day going forward, but it can apply on past cases. But I do believe, in order for Georgia courts to apply it, it has to have been applied in a case that have made that very statute. They went through this early on in one of the pre-trial motions about new case law. And for instance, the Georgia RICO Act has not been challenged outside of Georgia. It has never gone on a to the Supreme Court. And you have other things that, for instance, you have that called Frank's hearing, the ability for a defendant to put up a third-party defense. Another person did it. According to United States Supreme Court, SCOTUS, you have a constitutional right to put up a defense, even if it is a third-party culprit. Some states refuse to acknowledge that for some odd reason. All right, let's move on. I hope I somewhat
Now,
answered your
Mr. Lee,
question.
you talked about being signed to Alamo Records. Are you signed to a subsidiary of Alamo Records?
Can you repeat that?
Yes. Are you signed to a subsidiary of Alamo Records?
What does that mean?
Are you signed to OTF?
No,
Have you ever been signed to OTF?
no.
In one of your pictures, you're wearing an OTF chain. What is that chain for?
I was gifted that chain. I never signed no paperwork with OTL.
Is OTF affiliated with Alamo?
On paper, I don't know, but they have an OTF artist that's signed to them.
Okay. And who is that artist?
Look,
Yes.
That is
Your
outside
Honor,
the
I was
scope
wrong.
of the
Okay.
cross-examination.
Now, with Alamo Records, does Alamo Records have any specific colors that they represent?
I don't remember.
You don't remember?
No.
You're currently signed to Alamo, correct?
Yeah, you said colors though, right?
Yeah. Do they have any colors, specific colors?
Like in the office, what they wear, or what the artist should wear?
Do they have any colors specific to Alamo Records?
I think orange.
Okay. Do you have any hand signs specific to Alamo Records?
I don't know. Maybe an A sign.
Okay.
I don't know.
Does Alamo Records have any words like slat or slime related to their record label?
I think they just say Alamo.
Okay. Now, you were asked some questions on cross-examinations about your managers kind of running your social media and things of that nature. Do your managers run your direct messages to other YSL members?
Not that I know of, no.
So when you have the direct messages, is that you responding back and forth to individuals?
To people I know,
Yes.
probably so.
They talk.
Here's the thing about image, Ms. Hilton. That influences you in real life as well, if you're supposed to act a certain way. Who knew?
I think you were asked questions about managers kind of promoting your identity or who you're trying to be on social media. Do your managers control the words that come out of your mouth?
Not the words come out my mouth, but they control the what's it called? When you upload something, the captions.
Okay, but not the words that come out your mouth.
No.
You were asked about using YSL to gain notoriety. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you recall when you and I first started talking, probably a week and a half ago, that you said that?
Are you making yourself a witness again, Miss Hilton? Do you remember when we started talking a week and a half ago? He's been on the witness list forever. He was after the plea deal, and you just started talking to him a week and a half ago? That was at the time you started testifying, more or less. Oh, for frick's sake.
You actually became affiliated with YSL because your music was already popping and they noticed it?
I said that's how I became an affiliate of being around YSL, yeah.
So if your music came first, how is it that you were hashtagging YSL to gain more notoriety?
Because that's who I wanted to be signed to.
And you still aren't signed to them, correct?
No.
And you still represent YSL, is that fair?
I guess.
It's quite normal to sign to a smaller label and still, in heavy metal music, you want to go to Napalm Records, but you start out with one of the minors if you can get a record deal. But in heavy metal, it's almost always heavy metal and more extreme forms. You want to go to Napalm Records.
Is Miles Farley, excuse me, let me ask you this. How often have you been around Miles Farley?
All my life.
Okay. And are you aware if he has a tattoo on the back of his neck that is ESPN
I don't know.
in big red letters?
I don't know. I don't remember if he do or not.
And is Miles Farley a member of YSL, to your knowledge?
If he say he is,
I'm asking you.
I don't know if he claim he is or not.
But he's the one that's making all the Make America Slime clothing?
Yes,
And slime is language that is used by YSL members?
yes. But you don't have to be YSL to say slime.
Right. But he's not just saying it, he's making clothing for it, right?
Right.
Now, there was a lot of questioning about ops being a common theme in in music generally. Do you remember that line of questioning?
Yeah.
And speaking about the ops, is that usually someone of an opposition to whoever's rapping about it in the music that you've heard?
Can you say it again?
Sure. Would you agree with me that when they're talking about ops in rap music or any genre, they're speaking about someone opposite of them, whether it's an enemy or another group or someone feuding, it's someone opposite of the person rapping?
Can be a baby mama or something. A lot of people make diss songs and talking about the baby mama, whoever you want to talk about your op here.
So even in that example, if the op is the baby mama, at that point in time, those two people are in disagreement with each other. Is that fair to say?
I guess. I don't know.
And with some of the songs that you've heard that talk about ops, in those instances, are you aware of people who are part of maybe that rappers groups actually committing violence against the ops?
Hold on, say it again.
Sure. So they asked you about rappers who talk about the ops. Do you remember that?
Uh-huh.
In those songs, if the rappers are talking about the ops, are you aware if there has been any violence towards the ops that they are referring or talking about?
In the songs? I don't know.
I'm not sure if we're talking about a specific example or.
Sustained. He said he doesn't know anyway.
Sure. When you were asked about,
Go ahead and ask your next.
What song? Like, what are you saying?
Yeah, don't worry about it. Just ask your next question.
you were asked about whether you've seen athletes use the word slime or slat and wipe their nose. Do you remember being asked that question?
Yeah.
The athletes that you were thinking of, are any of them associated with the gang YSL?
I don't know what they're associated with.
Have you seen any of the athletes that you were thinking of in the Cleveland Avenue neighborhood?
I don't think she's making the point she is trying to make here.
I didn't see them on Cleveland. I just see them online doing it.
Okay. Now, you were asked about whether your songs are fictional. Do you remember being asked a series of questions about that?
Yes.
All right. And the song that we played, Where You From, do you talk about Cleveland Avenue?
Yeah, I think I said I'm from Cleveland Avenue.
Is that a fiction that you're from Cleveland Avenue?
No.
Huh?
No.
Okay. You talk about Little Rod in that song. Is that a real person?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So that's not fiction. Is that fair to say?
Oh, Jesus Christ, Miss Hilton. You can make up stories about, you have the people and then you make shit up. Just as you do, Miss Hilton. You have the people in the defendants and you make shit up about them.
No.
You also talk about Big Boo in that song. Is that a real person?
Yeah, he's a real person.
All right. You talk about Woody in that song. Is that real?
Is he a real person?
Yes.
Yeah, he's a real person.
Right. You talk about Poke in that song. Is Poke a real person?
Yeah.
You talk about Shannon in that song. Is that a real person?
Yeah, he's a real person.
You talk about Took in that song. Is that a real person?
Yeah.
So would you say that that song specifically is not a song that is fictional?
That's a. I'll withdraw my objection.
Answer.
Yeah, you can answer
Can you ask the question again?
Sure. So would you say that there's portions of that song that are not fictional?
There's certain parts, like I guess the names are not fake.
You talked about Boo being called a rat. Is that something that was fictional?
Him being a rat is fictional? Or
Being
him
called a rat.
Yeah,
Yes, that is fictional that he was called a rat?
he was called a rat.
So that's true.
Right.
Court's indulgence for. In your experience, or to your knowledge, do some rappers rap about their lived experiences or rap about crimes that they have committed in the past?
You said that they rap about the crimes they have committed in the past.
Yes, to your knowledge.
Hearsay.
I don't know if it's real or fake, what they did in their past or not. I don't know.
Court's indulgence for a moment.
That did not go as well as she hoped, in my opinion.
All right, any recalls?
No, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Lee, you are free to go. We'll go ahead and take our lunch break right now. Let's plan to be back at, I think we can be back at 1:15.
Let's see if they say anything.
Timing, haven't heard. With regard to timing, haven't heard back from the other court, but they know we want Dr. Sullivan. Okay, great, thanks. And then hopefully we'll hear over the lunch break from Ms. Winfrey about that bench conference. So I'll update y'all when we return, assuming I've got that information by then. All right, see y'all back in an hour.
Yeah, as Dave is saying, it's always a sign of how bad you are, your direct examination went, when the other side has no questions on recross. Yeah. I mean, that didn't go well for the prosecution. Not well at all. I mean, I do believe most people understand that you can have real person and then make shit up. For instance, I do not believe Abraham Lincoln was a vampire hunter. He could have been, but I actually think that movie is made up. So yeah, you can use real people and then make crap up. Especially if you're trying to have the YSL record label as trap rap or whatever it is. Dave says, if that was redirect, then it's a perfect example of how sometimes you should not even do redirect. Yeah, that didn't land at all. That didn't land at all. All right, let's see. I need to eat because I went online right after work. I need a snack or something. Drill wrap, trap wrap would have, well, no, skillet pan. Okay, I'm going to send you all off to Cadnot Williams and hear her input because she started, let's see here, when did she start? She started 20 minutes ago. So you can hear her input as well. And then I will be back for recap at around 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Meanwhile, thank you, Brooklyn, for becoming a member. Thank you, Roger Kint, for becoming a member. Thank you, Iron Rabbit, for gifting 5 memberships. Thank you to Nana Misty for gifting 5 memberships. Thank you to Vince Clotho, gifting a membership. Thank you to Brandon Lesko, member for 13 months. At least you don't ban member chats like the Danes. Yep. L. Allen, thank you for your super chat. Monday Mods Power. Thank you to STS for your super sticker. Thank you to Roger Kint for your super sticker. Thank you to Rebecca. Get it and go! Thank you to Roger Kint. So for everyone who was paying attention Friday, the only way to beat corruption is transparency. So whoever said I would get in trouble, FFT, never do business with crooks and don't keep proof. STS gifted a membership. Thank you so much. STS, another incompetence and deceit are not mutually exclusive. I completely agree. Vince Clotho, I can't afford a membership. With a $3 super chat, that's a good trolling. That's a good trolling. STS gifted another membership. And then Denise says, Nick, what are your beverage of choice? Alcoholic and non-alcoholic. Non-alcoholic, coffee. Preferably in my not an unindicted co-conspirator mug, which is in my merch store with now Free Thug is there, but now he is out. And I hope he can stay out of trouble. Tracy Fagan, I thought, the alcohol, beer. I'm a beer person. Tracy Fagan, I thought the Supreme Court said lyrics can be used as evidence. I did answer that question at the time. Tracy Fagan, again, thank you so much. Could it be the judge's man that love tried to slide in the civil forfeiture? Yeah, I do believe you are correct. I believe you are correct. Those were the gifted memberships and super chats this session. Folks, thank you. Thank you for allowing me to do this. Thank you for hanging in there. Because we need to keep this going. We need to get the numbers so that the court feed still keeps being up. Because if the numbers get too low, they might cut it. But I don't think with how this trial is now, and I do see a change from Judge Whitaker. She overruled state's objections that on earlier stuff she has sustained, and vice versa. We might have a change on our hands. But again, folks, thank you from me and Mr. Jingles. Hug your family. Unless your family is crap, then screw them and give your love to the people who deserve it. See you at the recap. Okay? Bye-bye.
In the courthouse where time stood still, generations pass on the hill. Prosecutors come and go, defense attorneys putting on a show. Old district attorney thought she was tight, came in to visit her tonight. They said justice was blinded by her sins. As the trial spun, no one wins. Endless trial like a river flows. Truth and lies, nobody knows. Corruption's gripped tight as a vice. In this endless trial we pay the price.